Welcome to McArthur Live with your host Tim and
Sarah.
welcome. We are live at McArthur here, and for the first time ever, I'm also streaming this on my Ford Vita Guy YouTube channel as well. So that's my personal channel. So I'm streaming over there at the same time. They have kind of made that to where I could do that. So actually, probably been available for a while, but also we're going to be recording this as a podcast. We'll cast the audio format later tonight before I leave the dealership after we're done recording it live on YouTube. So if you do listen to the podcast, you want to check it out live with us and ask your questions live and get them answered live, then join us on our YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Central.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you on YouTube, glad you're here. And if you are on YouTube, you see the background here.
Yep.
Which this is actually the last live stream you'll see, I think, where you're going to be able to see through the glass. So we are having like this, I call it my studio, but it's glass walls basically. And we're going to have some images, some backdrops over here and over there, but you won't be able to see that. And we're going to have a nice Kansas sunset, courtesy of Niles image from his GoPro. So, but for this week, we do have a Christmas theme because we're just less than a week now.
Less than a week
from Christmas, which is crazy to think. And 1 week from today, the fourth grandson should be here.
Yep.
So we will not doing a live.
He will be here.
He will be. We will not be doing a live stream next week because we'll be doing that, celebrating his birthday.
Yep.
Jameson's birthday.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll be at the dealership still.
Well, you won't be here that night.
No.
Because we aren't going to be live.
I'll be here the next day. I'll be there the next day.
Yeah. And I don't know what days you guys have off, but we are going to be closed Saturday. Not a lot of dealerships are going to be closed Saturday the 23rd, but McArthur will be. So if you're wondering about that, we will be closing down early Friday night about 4:30. Member Live, though, still going to go on as scheduled and go to 5 because they usually 4:30. It's usually 4:30 to 5:30. But Saturday, Sunday, Monday will be closed. So, again, not a lot of dealerships will do that.
Yeah.
And,
but anyways, we got these decorations from the showroom because we did the French party on Saturday. And we were like, well, we want to kind of spruce up our area. So let's
and we got the little lights sent to us by Mark as well. Mark Shee. He sent those. And, so that's pretty cool. So they blink if you wanted to blink.
They do.
Very fast.
Or slow.
If anybody that has seizures don't like that, we will not do that. And slow. So I say that because Jeffrey had a seizure disorder as a kid, and flashing lights would actually set his seizures off. So we won't do that around here. But anyway, so there you go. So having a lot of fun tonight because this will be the last live stream of 2023. And believe it or not, this is episode 123.
Yes.
123. And the next episode we have, which will be the first episode in 2024, will be episode 124, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. So that actually tells me that there is a purpose in not streaming next week. Plus, as you'll see in today's scheduling information, there's not much that's going to be happening in the next week anyway. So
true.
Ford's pretty much going to be closing down this week, next week. So, so. There you go. And somebody did actually mention, you want to pop that up? No Ridgeview tonight.
No Ridgeview tonight.
He was traveling
to,
was it North Carolina? Is that right?
North Carolina.
Yep. He's got a friend there. So
he was having surgery. So he's gone to be with him since he doesn't have family or anyone to be with him during recovery and all. So Ridgeview has gone down there to help him out.
So keep his friend in your prayers if you're a person that prays. So I think was the surgery today or can't remember. Was it today? Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think it was an emergency surgery.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, there we go.
But we have Niles here.
Niles is a moderator.
He says, "You get me. I'm the Wish version."
So Niles is going to play bouncer. So if you actually see Niles in person, you'll know he's a big guy. Strong guy. So he's gonna bounce people if he needs to. So everybody be nice. just because you need to be nice because Santa Claus won't come to your house if you're not. Plus, we're kind in this live stream, so we kind of one another, right?
Yep.
That's what I say. But we got a Grinch here, so he's not kind, but we'll pretend he's the at the end of the movie Grinch, not the beginning of the movie Grinch.
That's what I told Will because he was like, he's excited to see the Grinch. We got here, he's excited, and then we get here and he sees the Grinch and he's like, no. And I'm like,
yeah, Jaden wouldn't leave from right there. He was like, we were like, well, just hide behind us. We'll go over here to the activities.
I carried Will and he allowed me to get close to the Grinch this time.
There you go. So
I was like, remember, he's not mean. He's nice now. Remember?
Yep.
So he's nice. He's nice now.
So let's see what else is going on. Not a lot of videos this last week. We kind of got busy. Members will know why. We didn't probably do any videos. A little busy on Thursday, Friday. Yeah, and then Monday as well. So we didn't get a lot of. We don't have videos, but we're gonna work on some videos tomorrow. Hopefully afternoon, record some videos to go live Thursday or Wednesday night and Thursday night, or Thursday and Friday. Anyway, so we'll have some videos that'll go live for you guys. Hopefully, I should say hopefully for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night. But no videos over the weekend. We'll not have a member live or a member lot walk. We'll have a member live, but not a member lot walk this week. But maybe we'll get something else delivered to you guys if you guys are members. So, all right. What else we got going on? What else do we usually talk about?
Our weekend. Which was busy.
Yes. Yeah. What did I do this weekend?
We set up our tree finally.
You set up
Mom
your tree?
took our boys for a little bit so we could set up our tree. And we like to have the boys go somewhere else or set up our tree while they're sleeping. And then we tell them that the elves did it. Because they wake up or they come in and go, oh, the tree. And it's all pretty. And we have the decorations up. And they go, Mommy, how did you do this? Nope, the elves did it.
Well, we haven't put up any Christmas decorations yet, except for the house and the yard. Yard's got the Christmas lights up. But don't have any Christmas decorations yet. Yeah, no Christmas tree. I told her, I said, well, we can just wait till 23rd and pretend we're a Hallmark movie. Anyway, we'll see.
I mean, they never put up their decorations until the 23rd. Right? Apparently,
like,
they're always decorating the tree on the 23rd.
And they don't do a Christmas lighting until Christmas Eve. It's like,
yep.
Who does that in what town? Anyway, if your town does that, I'd like to know. But anyway, hey, we got alternation in here. So let's right now let's do our member shout out.
Yes.
You ready for that? Here, let me throw on. Oh, first of all, I want you to talk about how people can be members, in case they're curious. You ready?
Wait,
how to become members?
Oh yes, if you would like to become I'm sorry. If you'd like to become a member, it's right there by that join button, next to the subscribe button. If you are a Apple user, you will have to do things differently. You're going to have to go to your web browser, go up to little A and big A up there in the link, and request desktop browser. And at that point, you should be able to see it. Works the same way for Android if you're trying to buy Kindle books.
All right. And then you can find all of our content under the community membership section there. Again, we do a member live Friday nights. Sarah filled in without me when I was in Moab or driving through Colorado because I had terrible signal. Yeah. And then we try to do a lot walk every Saturday. Mm-hmm. Unless I'm not here or we're closed. Like
anytime he has me trying new things for the channel. When I started doing shorts, my first one was for the members. When I started doing a live stream by myself, shared it with the members. First time I did a video was for the members.
Yeah. We test out on the members.
Yep.
So if you want to see early stuff, there you go. So a lot of times we'll talk about different things that I'm thinking about for the Tuesday night, and I ask and bounce ideas off them. So it's kind of an early access kind of thing. Anyway, it's kind of fun, and it's just $5. So if you want to support us, that's a great way to support us as well. We really appreciate it and love our members, and we do send a welcome packet out as well. So make sure if you do become a member, make sure you email Sarah. So we can get that sent out to you. It's just a couple of thank you things for us. So, all right. See what else. Now, let's do member shout outs here.
Yes. We have a lot of members. let's start off with our special ones. We have All Terrain Nation who did a super chat. Mary Broncomus.
There you go.
We have Mike M, a donation from him.
Oh,
49.
wow.
Merry
Thank
Christmas,
you.
Tim and Sarah. Happy 2024, and thank you for a great year given to we members.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you
that.
very much. We love our member support.
Yeah.
We have Ragnar Khan. Oh, wow. Tim's Bronco has turned into a gigantic mess of green balloons. Looks sick. Needs a dock. It's supposed to be a Whoville tree.
Whoville. Yeah. And this is supposed to be like a little
ornament,
right? Or
yeah, it's supposed to
big
be a
one?
giant ornament that she was going to hang from the ceiling and then realized that it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So she just...
And this was a last minute. Hey, it'll fit right in between the wall and the desk. So let's do it.
It works. It works. Gives the Grinch somewhere to sit besides the desk.
There you go.
We have our Raptor first again. What is that, 3-4 weeks now? We have Mo Richman 300. Hello. We have Geralt. Geralt S.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm early tonight.
Nice to see him in there.
Yes.
They came to the Maverick meetup. It's always fun to meet people, meet the members in person.
Yeah, we have Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Evening all and Merry Christmas. We have VTech saying hola.
We saw them at Carlisle. We're going to talk about all kinds of these events.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit later.
Marine Vet, Merry Christmas. Met him when he purchased his Bronco. We have Craig. Hello. And we have Francis Origo, who is coming down January 3rd or 4th. One of those 2 days. The 4th. And he's going to pick up his Bronco that he's been waiting on. Produced during the UAW, or right before the UAW strike.
Yeah.
Been waiting ever since then.
Yep.
ML Culpepper is in the house. Any terrain in your recent off-road adventures encountered that your trimmer couldn't have handled?
Yeah. Moab. Not. It would have bottomed out. It wouldn't have cleared. Where some places we went in Moab. But I want to take it. There's a place, Tuttle Creek. It's an easy trail, so it should be able to handle that. But
yeah,
it'll be fun.
We have our Quibido. Hi all, fine cold Tuesday evening. That is why my cough is back. It is really chilly and it's hit me again.
I didn't take my allergy meds like 2 days in a row, and now mine's like my congestion. I can feel it. I'm like, oh, I gotta take Kate every day.
My asthma's bad. Well, mixed with a heater blowing on me constantly throughout the day.
Well, we're not having like temperatures below freezing. That's the problem. So we're at 40-degree days.
But like I have the heater, which is drying me out.
Oh yeah.
All day long, every day, because I have a crosswind going whenever a door opens. So I keep my heater on so I don't have to have a blanket. And then I go outside and the temperature drops so drastically from what I'm in my inside temperature that my lungs can't handle it.
Yep, that's happened to me. All right.
So we have Jim Hughes. Hello, everyone. Sean Watkins. Hello, everyone, and Merry Christmas. We have Linda Hoffer wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and healthy, Happy New Year from sunny but cold Florida.
All right.
Jack Evans. Hello, everyone.
Also from Florida.
Yep. Niles. Hi, Ford Video Guy friends.
Oh. Bounce over to Ford Video Guy. I got a couple people over there.
Yeah, we do have a couple. Although
the chat's probably not very, very healthy over there, so it's okay if you don't watch it. But if you want to watch a replay,
yeah,
that'll help the channel a little bit.
We have Mike M. Hello, Sarah Davis, Lowell McArthur, and Ford Video Guy. We have Mark Shee. Merry Christmas. Glad to see you got the necklaces. We got the earrings, but I can't wear mine at this time.
I don't wear earrings. Are these on? Yeah, they're on.
But they will be greatly enjoyed. Brian Foster, hello from cloudy Southern California. And he says he's going through Maverick withdrawals because his is in the shop.
Somebody we talked to that actually bought from us in Oregon, theirs is in the shop with some severe problems.
Oh, well, his isn't that. He's getting some radio stuff added.
Ah, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I feel bad for the people in Oregon because there are customers and the dealership there won't give them a loaner. So they're without a vehicle right now. It's like, yeah. So anyway,
All right, we have VTech. Thank you. He gifted 10 Law McArthur memberships.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Does it show who got them? Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, on your side it does.
On here it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't talk in the microphone. I asked if it was showing it on here, so it does on the chat. In there. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Kyle Moore is not a member, but he is a customer. He says his Terrain XLT Black Appearance package is shipping tomorrow from Law McArthur to Arizona.
Awesome. Yes, that name looks familiar. A lot of these people, that even if they're not members, the names look familiar because I look at a lot of those orders. But I did Alternate Nation. I sent you an invite. You don't feel obliged to get in there, but we're going to talk later at about 45 minutes. We're going to talk 2023 things that we've done. And of course, we saw you guys in Tennessee. If you guys want to jump on, great. If not, I understand because I know you're taking a break with the Christmas season and everything. So, and if you're busy tonight, don't feel like you have to get on. And I sent one to Niles as well because he went to Wisconsin with us. So
yeah,
we're gonna have some people. And Allie's gonna be on later. So, and I want to make sure that I know I'm not trying to steal Allie away from you, Alternate Nation. She's gonna talk Woodward Dream Cruise, which I want to go to this year. So we'll talk about that later. But what else you got? You got another one there?
Oh, Culpepper. So Culpepper was the one that messaged me that was talking about he couldn't get out of the screen from Android Auto, and I did that short on how to get out of it.
Oh yeah.
So that they can listen to FM radio.
Yeah.
It confused me at first too.
We got another donation here. $10. Thank you, Vols44.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing us the gifts of expertise and knowledge every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and much more.
Cool. Well, thanks. All right. And thanks for the donation. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. All right. And we did see Daniel's in here. So they were just here yesterday.
Yes, actually, I have that starred. Did you see that I have the starred one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I clicked on.
Okay.
So, yeah. So they were here yesterday picking up their Maverick from Michigan.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So they picked it up, and I don't know if they made it back yet or not.
Luckily, they have their daughter lives in St. Joe, and so they were visiting.
They're going to go there first, probably, and then drive up.
No, they actually came down to St. Joe first. They've been there for a few days, and I think they're heading back today or tomorrow.
All right. Yep. So they picked
got
up their
some
Maverick.
Christmas in early.
Yep. So cool. All right, and then last one. Then we'll move on. Martin, 23 months being a member. Wow, thank you. Merry Christmas, Tim and Sarah, and Law McArthur crew.
I need to update those.
Some of the Law McArthur crew is actually here, right? Still working last car deals, but anyway, hopefully they're not too loud for you guys. All right, moving on. What's next?
I don't know. I'm usually
good dealer. I have a good dealer. You got it right here.
Yes.
I got the image. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. You ready for that?
Yes. I'm behind on comments, so I'll catch up.
Okay.
All right. So we were sent this one. This is not a Maverick Truck Club good dealer moment, so we have a picture to go along with it. We finally got our 4-door Cactus Gray Heritage, and I have to tell you, while the wait was torturous, it was surely worth it. We feel like we won the lottery getting this Bronco, and we have to thank our wonderful dealer and rep, Richard Powell at Fitzgerald Ford in Fitzgerald. Is that Georgia? What's unfortunate is we had to drive 60 miles from home to find an honest dealer, but they will keep our business. All the dealers close to us wanted 5 to 10K over MSRP, and one wouldn't even let us test drive the one they had on the lot. Fitzgerald Ford kept us appraised of all issues, sold it to us at MSRP, and price protected us at the March 2023 price. I would recommend them to anyone in Middle or South Georgia. Thanks again, Tim and Sandy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So Cactus Gray 4-door. That was Richard Powell at Fitzgerald Ford in Georgia.
All right. There you go. So there's a Georgia dealer for you. If you're down in that area looking for somebody, there you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. And it looks like we got 5 more memberships got gifted by Martin. So he likes to do that too. So that's 15 tonight. So there you go.
Welcome to the crew.
Yeah. So welcome. Make sure if you're members, look at that member video. Sarah goes through all
your
the perks and
perks.
everything.
I think I need
And,
to update that. Do one a year.
I need to update the trailer. It's from 10 years ago. Anyway,
I will do the trailer. Just tell me what I need to say and I'll get it done.
Yeah, I'll let you know when they decide what I need to change it to. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's get into the next thing, scheduling news and everything, so we can get to the fun stuff here later, talking about travels and different trips we've gone on. And
Altering Nation says I'm in.
okay, probably take about 40 minutes to get through this stuff. So about 8:00. That's what I was thinking. So jump in whenever. All right. Okay. So let's go into scheduling notes and news. Where is that at? Right here. All right. Starting with our scheduling news and notes and everything. First thing, of course, we like to start with is going through all the terms and different things we're going to talk about tonight. And in fact, we won't cover a lot of this tonight because most of the models aren't scheduling this week because of the holiday. But when we talk about this information that's scheduling, what Ford's scheduling plan is, and there, when we talk about scheduling, we're talking about scheduling your order, which is your customer's retail order. So that's the second one now. The retail orders are customer placed orders. So the orders are placed in the order bank, which is that first term up there, where dealers place all stock and retail orders. Of course, stock orders are orders placed by the dealer for stock or lot inventory. So when you'll see that is when maybe they don't have any retail orders, but yet still they're going to have allocations. We're going to talk about here in just a little bit. Priority code, that's what priority is given by the dealer to their orders. Anywhere a retail order is anything from a 03 through 19. I know it says 10 to 19. That's been changed since I did this. And stock ones are 20 to 80. Lower the better. So a retail order will always be looked at before a stock one for the same configuration. Scheduling, that is when Ford schedules an order for production dates in the future months. And that's what we're talking about in this video, this part of the video. Production dates, that's the orders will be scheduled, given VIN numbers for a certain production date or week or something like that. Allocations. So allocations are what Ford uses to schedule an order. So if a dealer doesn't have an allocation that they've earned, they can't get an order scheduled. Doesn't mean even if there's a retail order in there, that order won't be scheduled if the dealership doesn't have an allocation. And the dealership earns those allocations by their sales volume for each model within their region. So we're a very high volume Maverick dealer. So we get a lot of allocations for Maverick, where some dealers may only get one or two because they're a lower volume Maverick dealer. That's how that works. So it doesn't matter how many orders are in there. It matters how many you sell. Constraints, those are an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build. Capacity is the planned production rate for given motor, trim, option, and such. So those kind of almost go hand in hand, because sometimes we'll talk about here's what the capacity is. Like we'll talk about that tonight, but then this is a constraint because it's there's more orders than what the capacity is. That could be considered a constraint item or option when we talk about that. Job 1 and 2, Ford does run their production within a model into split job 1 and job 2. If you have a job 1 order put in, it's not really necessarily a job 1 order. It's just an order put in there. So they'll switch from job 1 to job 2. If yours doesn't get scheduled in job 1, when it gets scheduled, it'll be built as a job 2. And sometimes it makes some slight minor changes to the production for job 2. They might decide to change this little knob or something because they can't get that other knob from the supplier. So they'll make that switch so they can keep production running, or they might, update with a new package for the second model year or second half of the model year, like they did for the Mustang with the GT California Special. And then balance out. That's the end of production. They might balance out sometimes a color. We saw that with Bronco last year. You'll balance out a certain color. That won't be available for the rest of the model year, but towards the end, they'll actually balance out the entire model like they are about ready to do on the Edge. So, all right. That's all the terminology. Hope you guys understood all that. If you have, of course, any questions, we are going to be taking questions at the end of this section that has to do with scheduling. So if you have specific questions to scheduling, then, pop those in there. Tag at Sarah Davis, Sarah with an H. Just like in the Bible. That's how we spelled her name. All right. Anyway, Starting with the 24 model year Mustang. So most of these models are not scheduling this week because being the holiday. Um, for the 21st must be the Christmas Eve. I don't know. Anyway, so there's no scheduling for Mustang. Order banks are open up for the 24 model year Mustang, including Dark Horse, as long as the dealership has a Dark Horse allocation available. Like we're supposed to be getting 5 for the year. We've had 1 schedule come in. We've had a couple more that are on customers have orders. So I think we are able to take a Dark Horse order but we don't know when we're going to get that allocation. So those are allocated differently, but they are open. They're not showing any constraints because since they're not scheduling this week. But I did actually do some looking here, and some of these sheets have made it on some different forums that I'm looking at here. It's a commodity report that I can't show you. It's a confidential report. Some people do post it when they're not supposed to on the different forums, and I kind of like to. We're going to talk more about these and some of the other models, but you might look at the GT performance package and think, well, 49% of the retail orders are with that package on there. But right now, there's currently 1,116 unscheduled retail orders, not including Dark Horse. But when you look at the capacity for the GT performance package, it's 20%. So that 20% would be of the production. So last month, they produced 5,600 Mustangs. So what is the calculator? So 20% of 5,600 is about 1,120 GT performance packages that can be scheduled and can be built. That's more than the unscheduled orders altogether. So that's where that number is. Sometimes you look at that and go, oh, it's a negative number, but not really, because since they have a low amount of orders, that's not really a constraint necessarily. So you have to take it and weigh it in that way. So same way on the black painted roof, capacity is 13% of 5,600 or so. If they build 5,600 this month or the next month they're scheduling for, 40% of the orders have that on there. So again, that's still a small number. So there's really not, because of that reason, other than the Dark Horse, there's really not a constraint for the Mustang. So, all right. Next is a 24 model year Escape is not scheduling this week, and order banks are open up for those. There's currently only 478 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for that. 25% of those, just over 100 of those, are for the plug-in hybrid. And just for reference, last month they built 8,600 Escapes in November. October, they built 20,000 Escapes. So I think I looked it up. Their average for the year is about 13,000 Escapes. So with that in mind, again, even plug-in hybrid is not really a constraint when you look at it that way. Again, order banks are open up for the 24 model year Escape. Put it in and shouldn't have any issues with about any constraint or any configuration there. All right. Next is a 24 model year Bronco Sport. Bronco Sport is available to order. There currently is a very small number of unscheduled orders. There's currently only 201 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. I would probably say, 56% of those are Badlands, and they're not going to be scheduling Badlands until March. So keep that in mind. If you have a Badlands, try to find one at a dealer. They're not scheduling this week. Again, because they make about 10,000, 11,000 a month, not really any of them are really a constraint, because you might look at it and go, well, Badlands, we know Badlands isn't scheduling, but besides that, even your freewheeling, which 56% or about half of the orders are freewheeling, their capacity is 3%, but that's 3,000. Or wait, not 3,000. 3% would be 300. So 300, that's more than what's already in there. So again, some of these constraints, when you look at the reports, if you see those on the different forums, some of that you have to disregard and understand what those all mean. So that's where I can help you out with that. All right. Again, order banks are open up for the 24 model year Bronco Sport and about any configuration that you want. So next is the 24 model year Edge. Order banks are open up for everything except for the ST right now. They are not scheduling this week, and there's currently 774 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, And again, not really any constraints there because only having 700 orders in there when they're building about 15,000 a month. Again, your order will not take long. It'll get scheduled pretty quick. Again, does depend on dealer allocation though. So if a dealer doesn't have a lot of edge allocations, like we only have a couple usually a month, if we had 3 orders, then yes, then that third order that's in line would probably have to wait another month. But again, that's something you have to weigh in as well. All right, 24 model year Ranger order banks are open up right now. They are not scheduling this week, and there's currently 3,000 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. I think the number was 4,400 last week. So they scheduled about 1,400 last week. So that's pretty impressive and pretty good to see. We don't know what production run is. Last month was a really low number, but prior to the 24 model year, they were building about 5,000 a month. So when you look at that, they still need to build the ones that have already been scheduled, but it shouldn't take too long to get everybody else scheduled. And there's no constraints listed on the commodity list there report. All right, I don't think I have anything else on the Ranger. 24 model year Bronco. Order banks are open up for everything except for the Heritage Edition and Heritage Limited Edition. Keep that in mind that they are open up for everything else. They are not scheduling this week. There's currently only 4,300 or so orders, unscheduled orders in the order bank, not counting Raptor. Or probably that number is probably not including limited either, Heritage Limited. And last month they produced 10,000 Broncos last month. So look at it that way, only 4,000. Not really anything is a constraint. So I know that I do know that somebody has posted the Bronco on Bronco 6G, the commodity report. Again, you need to know how to read that. Again, they still haven't updated the manual transmission being 0%. Don't look at that. Don't worry about that. It's not 0% that they're scheduling. We've had manual transmissions already scheduled. We even had a manual transmission Heritage Edition, I think, scheduled a couple weeks ago. So don't disregard that, and also don't worry about any negative numbers. So even Black Diamond, you're seeing a negative number in the right-hand column because it says that 12% of the orders in the order bank are Black Diamond, but the capacity is 8%. We got to remember, but 8% of 10,000 is what they make in a month. Okay, is that still more than the current orders in the order bank? Yes, it still is. So even Black Diamond is not a constraint, even though you see a negative number there. So I wouldn't really feel free to order what you want on the Bronco. It should not take long to get scheduled, other than, of course, you can't order a Heritage anymore. Those Heritage 2-doors, we still don't know when they're going to start scheduling. So I wouldn't worry. We've noticed on ours, we've had a variety. Wild Track scheduled. We've had hardtop 4-door schedule. Sasquatches. I mean, feel free to order what you want. I always recommend try to keep some of the aftermarket stuff to a minimum, though. That kind of helps, just in case they are having a supply issue with some of the aftermarket things. But otherwise, you should be good there. All right, next is the 24 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up for all trim levels, even the XL, despite any rumors. And they are actually scheduling this week for dealers that have an allocation not used yet. That would not be us. They are scheduling for build weeks, the weeks of January 1st through February 26th. This is what they call a cleanup scheduling. And that means they're trying to clean up any allocations dealers haven't used. They want to make sure they get theirs used, but they're only scheduled for what they can still fit into their schedule. And I don't think XL is it. I don't think hybrid is it. But here are some limited availability things that they probably won't schedule for. XL, as I just said. Hybrid, as I just said on that too. Splash guards, the molded in front and rear. Of course, I've always said keep those splash guards off. Get those aftermarket right now. And then black appearance package as well, which is optional on the XL and Lariat. Now, exhausted availability is your tonneau cover, hard trifold. Again, aftermarket stuff, get them later, folks. And then also the all-season tire that's available on the XL and XLT. So more than likely, if you have like a Lariat EcoBoost, that's a great configuration to maybe get scheduled if your dealer has an allocation, that kind of thing. That's how that would be selected. Now, looking at the commodity report, because I know that made it to the Maverick Truck Club as well. Again, you have to take this in a grain of salt, there's currently 21,698 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They made 13,000 the last 3 months, more than 13,000. So each month, the last 3 months, they've built 13,000. So when you think about that, you probably won't schedule for the next couple months. But when we were looking for March scheduling dates or build dates, that we'll probably schedule in January, which is probably the next time you'll be looked about get scheduling. If you look at that and go, oh, my hybrid's never going to get scheduled, it'll never get built this year because 80% of the orders are that, but their capacity is only 55%. Remember, 55% of 21,000, let's even go down to 50%. That's still what, 10,000, let's say 11,000 orders. Well, what's 80% of the 21, right? It is a high number. So they won't be able to schedule them all in 1 month, but they could schedule them, what actually I didn't do that right. 13,000 is what they can build in a month. 50% of that is about 6,000, almost 7,000 hybrids. So they can probably build about 7,000. Well, 80% of 22, yes, you may not get scheduled the first month, but it doesn't mean you won't get scheduled this model year. So some things, it's not a constraint in the sense that it won't ever get built for the model year, but it might take more than 1 month. Same way in the XL, 59% of the 21,000 people have XL. Their capacity is 23% of the 13,000 a month. Remember that. That's how that number fits. So you got to look at that the way it is. XLs will take a little longer to get scheduled if you do have it. If you have an XLT with a Lux package, that won't, you see that number as a positive number. That's a good one. Lariat Luxury, some of those, a trimmer, 0% of the retail orders are trimmer. You put a trimmer order in, you probably get scheduled the next time your dealership has an allocation. I mean, it'd be that easy. Yeah, most of them are pretty good. Even the black appearance package, Copilot 360, all of them, you're good. Again, stay away from those bed covers and those kind of things. Anyway, all right, next one is a 24 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up for those as well. They'll probably close pretty soon, so make sure you get your orders in. They're only doing a 4-month run for 24. They're not scheduling this week. There's currently only 217 unscheduled Explorer orders in the order bank right now. In November, they produced 20,000 Explorers. So, yeah, there's not really, again, that's the same thing. About any configuration will work. I know that they were saying last month or last week, there's a lot of things that were limited and everything because they were just trying to fill in holes for the end of their production. That's all that meant. So, like the next time they schedule and your dealership has allocations, it won't matter. They're going to be open up for all kinds of different configurations. Next is the 24 model year Expedition. Order banks are open up for 24 model year. They're not scheduling this week. There's currently only 577 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, and they produce about 6,700 Expeditions a month. At least they did in November. So about, again, any configuration other than, don't forget, on those Platinums, does require the optional 22-inch wheel. So if you do have a Platinum order, make sure you're switching that wheel to the optional wheel. It's a cool looking wheel. Go ahead and make that change. You can get scheduled. Limited 302A will require the sandstone trim as well. So that's something else. You'll want to make that change on those. Otherwise, shouldn't be an issue getting anything scheduled. There you go. Next is the 24 model year Mach-E. Order banks are open up for the Select and the Premium, not the GT yet or the Rally. We're supposed to find out information in 2024. Currently only 31 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. Looks like they're producing about 5. Let's see. November was about 5,700. October was 8,000. So, but they are not scheduling this week. And most of the orders in there, of course, they're non-GTs because they can't order a GT right now. But a lot of them, about half of them, are the standard range. But again, only 31 unscheduled orders. So as long as your dealership has an allocation, that's going to be the hard thing. Like we get about 1 allocation a month, maybe 2. That'll be the hard part, is getting an allocation from your local dealer. So look at that, or look and see what's out there. There's a lot of available Mach-E's out there at dealer lots, and there's like low interest rate going on right now too. So, all right. Next one is a 24 model year Super Duty. Order banks are open up for all trim levels, even the limited if you want to. I would avoid that if I were you. Also, F450 is available. So I think there's some rumors about that too, that they're not available to order. That is not true. Order banks are open up for all configurations there. They're not scheduling this week. It says they will resume scheduling January 4th. So next couple of weeks, they won't schedule. And some of these, you can tell these notes are written by those particular factories. And so some factories actually give more information than others, but about everybody's not going to schedule until January. Let's see what else. Super Duty is currently only 19,000 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for those. And it looks like they produce about 28 to 30,000 a month. That is a hopping factory right there. So with that in mind, again, the biggest thing is though, like Limited, King Ranch, Platinum, those have way more orders than what their capacity is. So that is the big thing for those. If you have a Limited, King Ranch, Platinum, be willing to wait. They are, a lot of people are like, well, they're not building Limiteds, they're not building 450s. We got a 350 dually Limited that arrived at our dealership. So they are building them. They are making them, and it is a 2024. It's just, again, in a smaller number and percentage. So it has to do with dealer allocations. It has to do with what you have. And keep in mind, the Limited comes standard with that high output diesel engine, which is also only a 10% capacity. So that's a big factor in that as well. All right. I won't go into too much more out of that because since they're not scheduling this week. 24 model year F-150 order banks are open up except for the trimmer. I'm not sure what's taking so long on that. Looking pretty cool, but yeah, except for trimmer. They're currently only 4,600 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for F-150. They build what, 48,000. Last month they built 48,000. I had to look all this up because I was like, you know what? Every week I say, I don't know what the percentage is off of. Yeah. So they make about 48,000 vehicles. So you can tell that 4,600 is like nothing right there. So that's probably a week's worth of ordering. But again, your dealership does have to have an allocation. They are not scheduling this week. And it does say in here that says there is a minor availability for Raptor 802A and 803A. We did actually get a Raptor R allocation last week and got that one scheduled. So again, your dealership has to have a Raptor allocation. And it looks like to me they're actually breaking out Raptor R allocations separate from regular F-150 Raptor allocations. So we got one last week and got a schedule, which was a surprise because the week before they said that they had to be switched to 801A, but they gave us a Raptor R. So there you go. So depending on the dealership and what they get there. All right, what else? We're almost done here. All right. 2024 or 24 model year F-150 Lightning. Order banks are open up if you want to put one in. Not a lot of people putting them in right now. They're not scheduling this week either. They kind of run along with the same schedule as F-150. They don't give us any numbers about unscheduled orders. I don't think they want Ford. I don't like Ford wants anybody to know. But yeah, no constraints there. Order what you want. You'll get it scheduled probably pretty fast as long as your dealership has an allocation. Next is a 24 model year Transit. Order banks are open up. There's currently 5,500 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, which aren't that many when they make about 14,000, 15,000 a month. No scheduling this week either on that one. And, there might be some constraints, but since they're not scheduling, I'm going to go over those. There you go. That's scheduling. Got any questions?
Not about scheduling per se. Will Lariat Super Duty be easy to get when ordered?
Lariat Super Duty is not too bad. I mean, we're getting quite a few.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're within the capacity on that, so that shouldn't be too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what if you can, I mean, there's still a lot of the same amenities and same convenience features and such. It's just kind of a different look and such. If you're okay with, not having that fancy King Ranch Platinum or Limited, look at the Lariat Ultimate package. That's not a bad truck, and you can get a lot faster. So, and if you're somebody out there that's a farmer or something like that, where you need that truck, and you need to get it, and you're like, I need one, then look at Lariat.
Yeah.
Or look at our lot because we got a ton of Super Duties on our lot. Like what, $2,000 off right now? I don't know.
I believe 2.
You repriced those today. All right. Anyway, we're stocked up for year. We're ready for those. We're in Kansas, so we got a lot of farmers. Into that last week, they come in after Christmas and need a tax write-off, and So we got our Super
Yeah,
Duties
that last
ready to
week.
go.
That last week is definitely one of our busiest for farmers and truck sales.
We got F-150s, but we're a little nervous because we don't have many coming in the month of January. So we're a little nervous we're going to actually be out of F-150s.
Mm-hmm. Yes, our background balloons are supposed to be shaped that way. It's a Whoville treat.
All right. Is that one of the
any-
scheduling questions?
No, I do have another one.
Okay.
When will the F450 XLT with high output engine be scheduled? Is there still a constraint?
Okay, we kind of just talked
Yeah,
about that. So it really depends on.
Yeah, it depends on that. Also depends on how many allocations your dealer gets.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of other things, but mainly your dealer's allocations, how many they have ahead of you or in there to begin with.
And remember, on especially like limited, was it limited? They said no, it was high output.
High output.
So 10% is the capacity on high output. So that means 10% of the, was it 48,000 or so, right around there, or was that F-150? 30,000. It was 28 or 30,000 is what they built. So 10% of that is how many are going to get the high output.
Yeah.
And remember, limited needs a high output. So if you have limited, you're already kind of like you got 2 strikes against you there. 450, you're 3 strikes. So you just got to look at it that way.
Yep.
Right.
Do you have allocations for Bronco, 4-door, Wildtrak next month? I have one ordered with your dealer.
We have like only a couple. We have like 9 or 10 orders, maybe 12 orders. Mm-hmm. Typically get about 10 allocations a month. So, I mean, it shouldn't take too long. I mean, to get it scheduled. And again, it's not necessary. I think at this point, it's not really like about any trim. All the trims are pretty readily. I think we had 2 scheduled. When we had the schedule, was that last week or the week before? We had like 2 Wildtrak scheduled.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it shouldn't take too long.
This one is somewhat scheduling. My wife's Bronco Big Bin was scheduled for 122. Is the rear locking differential included by default, or does it have to be selected? If it's not by default, can it be after it's scheduled?
Okay. Ooh, I don't know about the rear locker. Now, Big Ben is not standard with the rear locker. It is optional because I made sure I had it on mine. And I would encourage you all to get it. You never know if you want to go off-roading. Just go to off-roading once. On that, there are some things you can add after it's scheduled, as long as it's not too close to your build date. You're a month away, which you can make some changes. Usually what can't be made is anything that's affected by the VIN number. And I can't remember if the differential is affected by the VIN number or not. So that would be something your dealer should have to try. I don't think it is. I think because I think it does change your gear ratio. So I think it is based on the gear ratio. When you get to that, I think you're a 4.26 gear ratio from a 373. So you might not be able to now.
Says that does not impact the VIN.
Okay, there you go. I wasn't sure on that one.
Yeah, differential does not impact the VIN. Thank you.
So then you should be able to have your dealership, as long as your dealership wants to try to make the change. And it doesn't hurt the order.
Yeah,
it won't
their schedule date is 122. So I would call your dealer tomorrow.
Yep.
The sooner you do it, the better. Once it gets to a certain time frame before your schedule date, it locks.
Yeah.
So definitely call your dealer as soon as possible, so that way you can get that changed if at all possible.
Yep, and I would add it. Definitely.
Couldn't even change my color once it was scheduled with a VIN. And that's a misconception.
Depending on how close you are.
Depending on how close you are, you can change your color, or depending on how accepting your dealer is with making changes once you have a VIN. Some dealers don't like to make changes once it's scheduled.
So I think sometimes that's a misconception. Like sales managers were told, their sales staff, nope, can't make changes once it's scheduled. Some of them really believe that. Some of them, it's just they're bothered by it for some reason. It only takes like 5 minutes, not even that long, to go in there, make that change. And what'll happen is it'll say that it's processing your changes, and then a day later it'll say process has been completed. And then if your order looks like the color's been changed, then it's changed. So color is the easiest one, because technically your truck, your vehicle, Bronco, whatever, isn't painted.
Yeah.
They select the colors they need for yours, and it's a shell
It's
that's
like
already
it's
painted.
like a shell vending machine. They go, okay, we need this many for this day and this many for this day.
And this many four door,
Yeah.
this many 2-doors. So
In this color. Yeah.
Yep.
It's
at least that's the way it was at the Explorer plant. So
yes. But the what I always say is some dealers are very adamant that they can't do it, and I always just say, go in there and go, try, please. Two things will happen: either it's gonna change and I'm right, and I get the vehicle I want and I'm happy, or you get to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Anyway, just try, and hopefully they're accommodating.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions
That's
for scheduling?
pretty much all we have for scheduling.
I only have like one dealer.
If you've asked a question and I have not answered it, I am saving it for either we're going to answer in our next topic or later on, or I've saved it for the Q&A because it's not pertaining to our subject right now. Or I missed it and at Sarah Davis.
Yep. All right. I'm going to do dealer news, and I might have to do recalls like tomorrow or something, because our guests are already in there waiting for us.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah. You see him in it? Can you see him in it?
Well, I have a small screen.
Oh, yeah. You got to hit the arrow and go over.
I have a teeny screen here. I had to scroll to see him.
Okay. Let's do dealer news real quick. Throw up my screen here. All right. So dealer news updates for this week. I only have one thing, but it's a major one, and a lot of people are really upset about, and that is price increases. So we have price increases that went in effect December 15th for the Maverick. The XL series increased by $415 on the MSRP. The 24 Ranger already, I haven't even had one at a dealer yet. They increased $105 on the MSRP for all series, all trim levels. I'd assume that includes the Raptor. Bronco increased the Badlands, Black Diamond, Heritage Edition, Wild Track, Everglades, and Raptor series by $200. Mustang increased the GT and Dark Horse series by $215 on the MSRP. So there you go. So those are all the price increases. Now, don't forget, and I'm going to probably have to revisit this again, price increases don't affect an order that was placed prior to the 15th. So your dealership should still price protect your vehicle based on, I always say the easy way to know it, what was the price when you ordered the vehicle? That's the price you're going to get. The dealership will be reimbursed the rest of that back 45 to 60 days later when the Ford sees that the person that ordered it bought it. It's that simple. So it's not complicated, but you can actually remember this stuff. So some people will take, well, I know there's been these price increases, so when that comes in, I just subtract these from it and I get my price. Or the dealer can actually print a Dora at any time on any of these, and it shows all the different. It'll show all the Doras from any changes. So if let's say you ordered an XL Maverick back in September. It'll show a Dora from when you ordered it, and then there's this price increase on the 15th. It'll show another Dora where that price went up. So then they would just use the first Dora, and the Dora is a dealer order receipt acknowledgement form. So anyway, that's the easy thing right there. So all right, that's all I got for dealer news. And I got an Is It True? We can get into an Is It True right before I bring them on here, because that won't take that long. What was it I was going to talk about?
I don't know.
No, I got a rant for later. So we got a rant section. That's becoming a norm now.
After hours.
Yeah, I put your sister's car seats in. I got a major rant. Ford, you got a design flaw.
In the Maverick?
Yes.
Oh,
we've talked about it before. But
I know.
I'm going to rant about it tonight.
I know.
Because that's irritating.
It's one that I ranted about.
Yes.
When I had my Maverick.
Yeah, it's a pain. Of course, I've never needed to use it. Mine, but
although I will say F-150 is right up there next to it with their whole thing.
With what?
With installing car seats.
Oh, okay. All right, I got to see what my Is It True was. Hold on a second.
Like there is some package there. There's some luggage to unload.
All right, what's the Is It
in
True?
That topic?
Oh, okay. So we're here. We're on for Is It True for this week. I'm not going to put up the slide, but so there's a lot of people with Mavericks that are built and produced and they're sitting at the plant, and they're not getting shipped out. And I did send the message probably too late to the brand manager because I was curious on whether or not my theory was correct. But I do. I think that what's going on is because they are ramping up production. I mean, they're almost doubling production. What are they building? 13,000 now. Originally, they're building about 8,000 a month. So I don't know. And my thinking is that they're building and ramping up so much, but yet the Bronco Sport is still being built at about 10,000 a month, that maybe they're having a bottleneck at the rail yard getting those shipped out, is my thinking. And so they've ramped up production, but didn't think about the shipping being a problem. And I don't know, maybe that's the case, because I know it's taken, I know we have a lot of them that they used to get built and shipped out within a week. And now it's like 2 or 3 weeks before they're getting shipped out.
Yeah.
So if you see that happening to your order, don't freak out that, there's a problem with your vehicle or something. Because I know there's some people saying, oh, because mine's terrain, it's not getting built, or mine's got this, it's not getting built, right? You've seen a lot of those, right?
Has anyone gotten their Lariat in terrain with the black appearance package with Lux? Yeah.
They're building them. It's just, again, there's just some people.
I replied because he's just said, has anyone gotten their terrain Maverick yet? So I replied with, yep, we have one on our lot. Took a screenshot, sent it in there. He's like, no, Lariat in terrain. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're building them. They're building all configurations. I can attest to that, but it is taking them longer to get shipped out of the Hermosillo plant. So anyway, all right. My guests have been patient. They've been waiting.
Yes.
We're gonna bring them on.
Well, and so there are a lot of people asking about the whole, my vehicle's been in production for this long. It's been taking this long. We've been seeing that as well. They're in production for a little bit longer, but they might be, needing a part. They realize that they ran out of a part or something, that they didn't expect to run out of, or maybe they had a part that was faulty, that they have to go back on the batch of parts and, fix them all. So,
and what you're seeing is there's statuses that the customer sees, and it's, order status, it's production, and then it's shipping, and then it's arrived. So you're only seeing the 4 statuses, but the dealer sees within the in production different statuses like built, produced, released, sent to body company, returned. We see all those. So if yours says in production, it's not really meaning it's still being built.
Yeah.
It's just, it may have been already produced, but not released to the shipping company yet.
Yeah. I will say there is another factor that we are going to be seeing that may affect shipping. Did you see that Texas closed down their borders for trains? You cannot get trains in through the Texas border anymore.
Well, good thing that those are coming across the Arizona border.
Right. But then someone was like, well, but they have to reroute all of that cargo.
Oh. Through Arizona?
Through Arizona.
Oh, geez. Well, there you go. That might be.
The border actually just.
We learned so much from our
viewers. Nogales is still open. Hermosillo ships through Nogales, which is Arizona.
Yes.
But yeah, Texas is closed down.
I did not see that.
So that may cause some shipping delay, and we might see more shipping delay coming from Hermosillo because of that.
Okay.
On with our next topic.
I'm going to print this so I have it in front of me instead of pulling it up. Oh, wait. Is that the...
All right, because we talked about that.
All right. You guys ready? So we got Allie. We got, and I actually sent one to Niles, but I know it's getting close to Niles' bedtime. So I don't know if you want to come on or not. You ready? Here, I'm going to remove this. We don't need that.
I'm going through our comments and removing all of the ones that are.
Okay.
We just answered.
Oh, you know what? We're going to need.
I need to hear them. No, can't you put it through the speaker?
I think. All right. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Hey, we can hear you. Is there feedback, though? Hopefully there's not feedback from the mic and the speaker.
We've done this before, and there's not feedback.
Well, we'll find out.
We did it with Niles.
We'll find out. All right. Thanks, guys. Dave, Allie, joining us. we're talking about like the year in review kind of some of the events. You guys did this a couple weeks ago on your live stream. For those of you that don't follow them, a lot of our viewers are following your guys' live stream. But All Train Nation streams not every Monday night right now, but you're just probably beginning of the year gonna start back up again.
Yeah, January 2nd, I think, is when we come back.
Cool. That'll be our next live stream too. So this is Dave from All Train Nation. A lot of you guys already know them. I know we have a lot. You probably recognize a lot of them in our group here. And Allie, of course, she's on there as well, but also works at the dealership in Brighton Ford, right, in Michigan. So, yep. So, So thanks for being on because we saw I did. Sarah didn't get a chance to see either one of you guys yet in person, but no, you did. Chicago, right?
Yeah,
I met Sarah in Chicago.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to meet Sarah yet.
Yeah, and then Tennessee at Bronco Supercell there.
And we were gonna meet in Colorado, and then there was all of that.
And then life happened.
Yeah. How's Maya doing?
She's running laps right now. She's good. So I'm happy to see that than the opposite. So we'll take it.
Cool. All right. So they did talk about a year in review. We were gonna do this next week, but then we decided. I got grandson number 4 coming, so we're going to do it this week.
Oh, congratulations.
We're not going to stream next week, so
day after Christmas.
Yeah, so because she had, they're planning it like at 36 weeks because she had her first son had spina bifida, so
he had surgery in utero, which is basically a C-section. Take baby out, do the surgery, put baby back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then do a second C-section to have the baby.
Yeah. So because of that, they want to make sure there's not going to be any complications.
Well, she actually cannot have one naturally because of other circumstances that go along with that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of fun. Yeah. Actually, to be honest, you were the only one that was natural. The other 3 of your siblings were all planned, all scheduled. So
okay. So Will was you're not breathing good. You need to go. Theo though was planned and then came naturally. So
as Dave says, this has turned into Baby Nation. Anyway.
Long McArthur deliveries over here.
There you go. We do all kinds of deliveries. Free shipping if you finance. Anyway.
Well, you do.
Go on with our topic.
All right. So so I actually have a list here. Luckily my printer's right below me. We were I was gonna go through the timeline. So we did see you, Dave and Kelly. How's Kelly feeling? Is she doing okay?
Yeah, she's actually a little under the weather now. So she's had back problems. And you get one fixed and then you get under the weather. So
I swear everyone's sick right now too. So
we've actually had COVID kind of go through the dealership. I didn't get it. We even had it in our house. One of our kids had it. It was like, there's a basement. See, we'll bring you food. So she had it and we didn't get it. But Lebo had it and you didn't get it. So it's crazy. Anyway, it's going around again. But so we saw you guys at Chicago Auto Show. How did you like the auto show?
That was my second time at Chicago. The first time, unfortunately, was the month before all COVID broke out in 2020. So it was interesting. Auto shows they seem to be kind of dying a little bit, and I'm hoping now that kind of the pandemic's out of the way that we start seeing them come back. But no, that's a good one. You guys were at seemed like all the auto shows this year.
We hit 3.
Yeah, we hit the big 3.
Yeah, we were gonna go to LA, but then by then we were just like
burnt out.
It was November. We were going to SEMA, and
after SEMA,
we were
done.
We were kind of thinking this year, unless we hear Ford's gonna do a reveal, we probably won't go to an auto show.
But this was a good year to experience and learn and find out what each auto show is about.
Yeah. Chicago was, I think, probably of the 3 was one of the. I felt like it was almost.
What's one of the best. Good one? Chicago's a good one because the industry shuts down December. There's just nothing. Most of your management's gone pretty much the whole month of December. There's really going to be any news. I know tomorrow is a little bit of news. I can't talk about it, but there's something fun dropping. Past that, like there's just nothing. So we prepare for Chicago, and that's our first trip of 24 is Chicago.
Yeah. So are you going to go this year?
Oh yeah. Chicago's a good one because it's kind of a truck show, or it seems to be like a truck SUV.
Okay.
Obviously they had Dark Horse was there last year, which that was big
Yeah.
for us because we got to finally see it in person.
Mhm.
We got to pick out Kelly's Mustang, which she didn't know at the time she was getting a Mustang, thanks to Allie. And then and then Jeep, not that this is a Ford show, but Jeep had some fun news. So it was for a reporter like me, like it was fun to go to.
Yeah. It kind of felt like Ford, it seems like even in Detroit, they didn't really reveal anything at the show. They didn't do any, like some of the others do, some of them will do a presentation for media and they'll reveal something or whatever. But Ford doesn't seem like they're doing that anymore. I don't know. Because even in Detroit, it was separate from the actual show. It was like at a different location, So
a lot of manufacturers like to do it now on their own because they can control it better. It's cheaper. Detroit's expensive. Detroit, that's the Super Bowl of auto shows, and that's an expensive show. So
yeah,
with all the issues in manufacturing, especially because they knew UAW was going to ramp up too. So it was just like, let's just play it cool. Of course, Allie lives in the heart of all that, so I'm always
I love it.
She sends me pictures of everything up in Detroit, and I'm just like, man, I would move up there, but it's cold, and no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been awful this year. I mean, it's kind of been cold, but not really.
All right, we're gonna move you to where you're kind of like in front of the camera, so we're actually looking at the camera while we're looking at you. All right. And so Sarah
I'm looking at them at a tiny little screen, that big.
All right. Okay. Let's see what else you got. What other things you've gone to, Dave, this year?
Supercell is always a big one for us. We love the Bronco. Me and Kelly are both big into off-roading. So when Bronco dropped, it was our preferred brand for off-roading vehicles had stopped making off-road vehicles. So we was like, hey, we'll try. We didn't want to be Jeep people, so we were like, we'll try the Bronco. And after our first Supercell, we were really hooked. As far as the community was great. The older generations, I've always loved those. And unfortunately, since the 6G came out, I can't afford one of the early gens. But no, Supercell's always a blast. Me and Allie, I think we've been there a couple times together. And I think last year was the first time actually we got to hang out for any kind of time. We somehow me and Allie's paths keep running into each other, and then we would never get to meet.
Yeah, we knew of each other, and like had always planned to meet, and it just never worked out.
Yeah,
Supercell's great.
Yeah, I think my wife and I were planning. We're looking forward to Tennessee. So she loves Smoky Mountains. That was just so beautiful. We got a campsite, and we just wake up and go out of our tent, and there's a river in front of it with the Smoky Mountain. I mean, right behind it, and it was just
so
nice.
fun. Like, just the community is nice, and just getting to hang out with everyone. Like, not just seeing them behind a screen or on Facebook or Instagram or anything, and just like fully meeting people is just it's so fun.
Yeah. So I'm planning to go to that, going to Tennessee this year. Yeah. You know what? I think now we've done enough events and everything that I think I might have the wife convinced in getting a little teardrop or something like that. So
nice.
There you go.
We're going to go to the KC Auto Show in January, right after my birthday. So we're going to see what I can talk her into.
Hey, it's birthday present, man.
There you go. That's an expensive one. I don't know if she gives me that kind of budget.
Right, trade something.
Yep. But anyway, let's see what else here. We last year we went to New York. Did you go to Dave? Did you go to New York?
No, I generally skip New York because I hate New York.
Yeah,
it's so congested, and I'm a country boy at heart. So a big city like Chicago is big enough for me. I don't need bigger. But no, like that, and that's usually kind of a car SUV, high-end show. What Ford had some fun stuff there this year, though, if I remember right.
Media got rides in the Dark Horse.
Yeah, we got to ride in the Dark Horse. It wasn't as that great because it was in town and like New York with the traffic and everything. They never like, oh, there's 50 yards. That's what you get.
Yeah, I remember talking with my buddy Joe Ratty, and he was excited. Of course, he does major numbers with his videos, but it was like, oh, cool. I get to experience this. And then you like literally see Gloria's wife videoing him like go into a red light. And that was the kind of the video. It's like, wow, Ford, that was kind of a bummer place for that one. But
I don't
You
even
know,
remember if I
Diamond
even released the video that we did because it was like, oh, this is kind
Stop,
of
go.
yeah.
I think the only valuable part of that was chatting with the driver and finding
Yeah,
out more
the
about the
engineers,
process of
yeah.
their engineers and their drivers and what
Oh,
all
cool,
it
yeah.
entails.
That was fun. And then they actually had the hitch assist.
Yes.
You know, where we could try that out, which, you know, that's kind of overlooked, but it was because it was really cool. Not many people went and did that, and we did a video on that. And I think that's underestimated. That's a pretty cool technology. If you're not very good at backing up trailers, I guess. If you're a pro, then you won't probably ever use it. Like my dad, he's got a trailer. He's like, he's got the hitch assist or the backup assist. He doesn't use it. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I might.
Well, when I was a kid, I was the backup assist. I was like, stand there.
There.
Yeah, that was me.
That was Sarah's job on the boat. We had
Mom
a boat.
was inside taking care of gathering everything, so I was outside helping Dad.
Yeah, she was helping me hitch it up. Let's see. Allie, you going to Tennessee too, right?
Yeah, I'll be, as long as everything's good with my everything's already booked, so hopefully we're there.
I probably should book that stuff. So
You should probably should.
yeah. I want to go up a little earlier than we did last time, but I don't know. I think
But
Barbara can't get
you
that
also
many days
need, if you're gonna get something in January, you know, you gotta wait to see what kind of site you're gonna need.
That's true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
But
as of right now, I think I'm going up Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll be there until Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we actually left Saturday morning, so I think this time we'll probably stay and be there Saturday morning this time. But I think last time we drove clear through in the night, and I don't want to do that again. But we'll see if I can get left earlier on Tuesday and get part way. But it won't be so bad. But
Now that I can do live stream stuff or move the live stream to another day.
yeah, I think we've learned this year that we can move it around. Doesn't have to be, you know,
The same day.
and doesn't have to be every week either. You know, people can
Be pre-recorded.
People can
too.
figure out, pre-recorded.
Yeah.
But that's not really a live stream if you re-record it. But anyway, have you guys ever been to the Ford Nationals? Sarah and I went to that this year. And
I keep getting invited to it, and for some reason I've just never. I think it used to be a scheduling conflict for me, but no, it looks fun. I know our buddies over at Driven Wild Outdoors, they were there, and just getting to see what the Ranger Raptor was there this year, and some Rangers, but just getting to see all the classics and stuff. No, and it's not that far away from me, so it wouldn't be a hard trip for us to go. But usually there's a press trip or something. There's always something that nails me from getting to do all the fun events.
Yeah, this one it's always right around the 1st of June.
Yeah.
So it's right after like Memorial Day
weekend.
And yeah, we went last year. We enjoyed it, but we had the Maverick community that kind of asked
They
Maverick
were like,
Truck
"You
Club.
need to come down."
There were how many Mavericks were there? Like 30 or something?
30.
Wow.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
I think at the end of it was like 35.
Yeah, so we did like interviews, and that was really fun. I actually kind of getting into that now. I enjoy talking to the owners of Broncos, Mavericks, and I'm kind of in that. I like interviewing them and see
how has that been for you, because you've been kind of stuck in the dealership per se. You started this, just as a dealer focused deal, and now you're kind of I know you're the man of Maverick. Like you're kind of like people love tuning into this and getting what do you think or obviously you guys do all the delivery dates, stuff like that, build dates, but how is it for you guys now that you go to this and people know you? Because I know I get more attention now. Before I was a traveling musician and slightly known, but now I get more attention from Ford products, it seems like, and people coming up to us and saying hi. I know Allie's the same way. People know her dog more than anybody.
Yeah.
Like it was hilarious. I had a guy actually message me on Instagram today, and we ended up sending one of our chassis to Kentucky to get upfit for commercial. And he was looking at the invoice and he's like, Brighton Ford. He's like, I know this place, and looked up my Instagram. He's like, oh yeah, it's Allie's page. Or like at Supercell last year. So, or when was my first year? 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like I brought my mom and my dog. My mom basically was there to watch Maya so I could kind of do my thing.
Yeah.
And more people knew my dog. And my mom's like looking like, how the hell are you like known and stuff like that? I'm just like, Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's still weird when people come up to you and like they know you, or like you know their Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or like their username, but like you don't know them.
Yeah. We like here, I have people come up and go, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah, I mean, because we do actually have a lot of people that are doing delivery and wanting to come here so they can meet me and do deliveries, and they'll drive home.
So for us, it's almost normal to get recognized.
As long as I'm not wearing my hat. So like when I went to Tennessee, I wore my hat, and I
didn't recognize you when you walked up to the Bronco Nation.
So
it's like that Clark Kent.
Yeah, there you go.
The glasses, he just wears a hat.
Well, I think when I realized it when I was in Dave and Kelly's booth, and there was somebody right there, and he goes, "Well, that's the Ford video guy right there," and he's like, "What?" And he looked, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't recognize you." And I was like, "That's when it hit me." I was like, "Oh."
It makes you realize that why Kent actually got away with that, because it's plausible.
Yeah,
I'm
so like funny. That. I'm like,
but like Lebo says it was weird because we were in Carlisle and we were wandering around and stuff, and people like, because he wasn't really interacting with the Maverick Truck Club, but we were wandering around looking at cars, and some of the Maverick Truck Club people came up and were talking to Will and Theo, and he's just like, "Who are these people?" Like, "Oh, hey guys," you know, they're familiar with my kids,
right?
Yeah, I have. It's funny. I have it around here. I mean, not actually. I think more people at other places like those events at Bronco and Maverick that people recognize me more than they do locally, because they don't. Not everybody around here watches the channel because they just come to the dealership because we're, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll go. One year we went to the fair. Or was it last year or something? And every time I wasn't with Barbara, I went off to go get food or something, and somebody's like, "So what? Hey, you're the guy on the YouTube channel," and yeah. So they'd ask me questions and everything. I'd come back. I said, "Hey, I met a fan," you know, and they're like, "Yeah, whatever." And then and then I'd go do it again, go get more food. Hey, somebody over there was asking me about, you know, we're not going to make an electric Maverick, and she's like,
"Well, the weird thing is when you kind of catch somebody out of your profile, and you can see they're sort of staring at you like, I know them."
Yeah.
And you're
well, that happened in Colorado where they'd be like, "I know you. How do I know you?" And then we would like swap places, and then like, "Oh yeah."
Because when we were at the other place we recorded, we were in other spots. And so that's how Brian and Kelly, or Brian and Melissa, that's how that kind of happened. Was we were talking to Brian, and he was like, "You guys." And so I went around to the other side of him, and he goes, "Yes."
That's so funny.
So yeah, that was
and
fun.
I think like the live stream right before that, I was like, "Hey, we should switch places to mess with people."
So now we are opposite than we used to be. But anyway, so that was a fun event. What fun events, Allie, you've been to the Dream Cruise, right? Is that Woodward?
Yeah, so I did Woodward with Bronco Nation, and they were here for 3 days. And from the Paquette plant to off-roading, that's where we had Brian and Melissa, which that was so fun. And just going to Ford Archives. Like, it was just a jam-packed weekend. And it was a blast. Like, if you have a Bronco and you're not part of Bronco Nation, you really need to join, because you get to do just the coolest stuff.
Yeah. Although right now I saw they're doing the King of the Hammers, and I'm like,
I know, I want to go so bad.
And I'm just like, if I did, I'd fly in, and I'd have to see. I know Brian would probably offer to pick me up, but I'm just like,
well, the worst thing for Hammers is there's no easy way to fly in there. So you fly in.
That's what I was trying to figure out today, because I would have to fly in and do that.
Yeah, it pretty much if I went, it'd be just me.
Well, and you had talked about taking Jeff.
Yeah, well, he ended up going to off rodeo, but yeah. So, yep. Let's see what else. What other events you guys went to this year?
Well, Tim, you have to get to Woodward though. The first one I did was by accident. I didn't really because I mean I like Ford products, but I've never been like a Ford fanboy per se. And I was flown up to get a first edition. They were like, "Here's a first edition for a week or a weekend. Have fun with it." Bronco. And I just and Kelly's from Detroit, and she's like, "Oh, this is Woodward weekend." I was like,
"Okay." Okay.
Yeah. She's like, "Well, it's a big car show." And I was like, "Well, that'll be fun. What's a big car show here?" And she's like, "It's like literally across Detroit, like one side of Detroit basically to the next." And I was like, "No way." And having that Bronco that first year at Woodward was crazy because we didn't have a top on it, we didn't have 8 doors on it, and we were going down one of the highways, M something, I don't know, and like Ford, you could see Ford employees would come up, drive. There was a Raptor come flying up next to me, man. I'm doing 75 mile an hour. We're just enjoying this truck, and dude's just pumping his arm, just like honking the horn and just having fun. But Ford goes like crazy at Woodward. They really own Woodward. Sorry, GM. Sorry, Ram. Everybody else.
That's the thing. They don't have as big as a presence as Ford does. I mean, they have several blocks blocked off just for Ford groups and car clubs and things like that. Like
9 miles where they that intersection there. Yeah.
So it's so fun.
Is it? So it's other. It's not just Ford. It's other manufacturers and everything. Yeah, I gotta.
It's kind of a celebration at the end of the year for everybody. That's because Allie knows by the end of August you're basically putting all your outside toys away, and
basically
a lot of the classic cars people don't want them. They're putting them back in their garage for the winter, and so it's kind of that last hurrah of like cruising and having fun, and you'll see everything there. I mean, from low riders to the cars that bounce to like American modern muscle.
I saw one that was
like you see a couch going down on wheels. Like you literally see like the trashiest stuff and like the most like elegant stuff. It's literally insane.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what's going on. I know that Bronco Nation's struggling a little, but we'll see. Hopefully they're there and we'll get.
Yeah, I think they will be. I had talked to them. I'm pretty sure Woodward is definitely just like a must for them. And I think that's because of Ford. Yeah.
So I do know that I think they're planning to be at Tennessee. Melissa was telling me that she's on the schedule for Tennessee. So anyway, but that'll be a lot of fun. So let's see what else. Of course, we have our Maverick meetup. That's not a big event yet, but
we want it to be.
We want it to be for Maverick people. So we had a lot of our attendees this last year were people that had deliveries coming in, and then they held out and came and we picked them up, and then they picked up their Maverick and went to the event. So, so we had about 30 Mavericks there, I think, this last year,
Nice.
Which is fun.
I think 10 of those were surprise.
Yeah, some of them were from out of town. I had somebody from Colorado, but anyway, we not like it's going to be a Bronco Supercell or anything, but I think this year we're going to try to plan like they do, like taking a cruise. Now we're going to do off road with the Mavericks, but we're going to do like a destination drive or something, and we're gonna not like Kansas is real fun, but we do have some cool places here, historic places. So we might just take a cruise out there and do that on the Friday, and then have the event Saturday. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, that's so fun.
Yeah, I hate to say, Tim, I dodge your state any chance. If I have to drive across America, I'm dodging that state.
I will tell you.
Now you have to go say hi to him.
Hey, but
we stop in Kansas. It's halfway.
We let you go 75 here.
Yeah. Although Utah lets you go 80. That was really nice. And the Bronco handled just fine at 85. Anyway.
That's like my everyday driving here.
What the claw top. Anyway, that's we're gonna try to do that. I mean, like here it's like, we're gonna do schedule, a couple of hours, for a show and that kind of stuff. I said, if you're gonna have people come from all over the country, you gotta do a couple day event. So we're gonna, even if they're not up for it, we're gonna try to do at least a drive the day before, and our members meet up with us. Can you hear us, Niles?
Yeah, I can. How are you guys?
All right.
Hey.
So our members do try to meet up with us. We do a member meetup dinner the night before that, so Friday night, and that's usually a blast too. But.
Oh man, Speedy World's dodging my state, man. Come on, I'm from Ohio, bro.
Now I will say
everyone dodges Ohio. Let's be honest.
I will say I was going to Utah, and I'm like, I want to see. Hopefully, this isn't too bad of a trip, but I cannot wait until I'm out of Kansas. So I'm the same way. And it's
how did you like that drive? I'm assuming you went Denver, 70 across?
Yeah.
From Denver all the way to Moab that's the best drive I've ever done. I always can never wait I'll fly into Denver, somebody will throw me keys to a car and they'll be like, hey, just take it. And you go through 4 seasons really quickly. Snow of Denver, kind of spring of Grand Junction, and then you guys are now in Moab there, so that was probably a little chilly for you, but it's That's the most beautiful drive.
Actually, Moab wasn't that bad. I mean, like they say, they get snow, but it's only on the and then it like on the top of the peaks, and then it melts everywhere else. So I'm like, I could handle Moab.
I agree with
because it looks beautiful and everything. Yeah, I would say we went through Iowa, and we'll talk about Wisconsin here in a second because Niles went with us. Wisconsin.
I drove all the way to Pennsylvania through Ohio and Iowa and all of those. So
yeah,
Indiana's awful too.
But I do. For me, it was like just get me to Denver, and then from there, I think it'll be cool because getting from there, you get all the ski places which I used to visit as a kid, and all that. Going through those places. Now we did have a snowstorm, which I didn't have my goat mode and slippery, and I kind of almost had a little accident there, but we were all right. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Were you able to stop and see anything in Colorado? As far as did you stop at Red Rocks or any of the kind of fun places?
We really didn't because we knew that by the time we were going to get in Moab, it was going to be dark, and so we were just we just drove straight through in a sense.
Yeah, it was 5.5 hour drive, I believe. Yeah,
and for us, it's 12-hour drive from Salina to Moab, and so, but yeah, I mean, it's basically Denver's about halfway, 6 hours. So
I remember I left Nashville at noon to drive to Denver, and we did it in one trip. And I remember Kansas was, man, and I love Topeka and all that area. I'd like to explore that area, but as far as just the highway, I was just get me out of here. And then I think I told you this once, Tim. We were driving through so it was on kind of the Colorado side of Kansas, and all of a sudden it was 3 or 4 in the morning. I was seeing these strobing lights going across Kansas, and I'm like, there's no cell service. So you're am I hallucinating? Because I've been up all day and night. And then once I found cell service, they're oh yeah, that's just all the wind towers or the windmills.
Those are our wind turbines. They get pretty creepy at night.
Now they just light up red, and now they're all across the horizon. So everywhere you can see,
it gets kind of freaky.
But especially
that's how we do energy around here.
Yeah, you've been up for 24 hours driving. And it's real freaky. You're am I hallucinating?
See, and I love Kansas driving. Going from Kansas City to here, I absolutely love it. It's you look as you're driving, you're looking at the horizon at what there is around you,
but it's just straight. There's no curves. And it's at least in Colorado, it's I gotta go slow down because there's
pretty sure I saw the sun set and rise going through Kansas.
It's not that long.
It felt it.
It's about 4 hours to the Colorado border, and then there's I mean, you could on a winter day you could.
It's 250. I'll say this: 250 miles from Colorado border to here, and we're halfway across the state. So.
It was November when I did it, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Yeah, that would be why.
Yeah.
You can definitely see the sunrise and set in that time.
Probably. All right. Let's see what else. We actually went to Wisconsin Supercell. Being in Kansas was kind of nice because we could hit Tennessee, Wisconsin, and Colorado.
Yeah.
Niles, you went to Wisconsin with Derek, one of our sales associates.
Yeah.
Specialist, I should say. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's some trails on there that if it was me and my Bronco, I don't know that we would have gone down that adventure.
Your Bronco Sport.
Yeah. So we
have Bronco Sport.
Yeah, they had one trail ride there. They had a lot of destination drives, but one trail ride, and it was in private property, somebody publicly or privately owned property, I should say, that they just made trails 2 weeks prior to. And so a lot of stumps and that kind of stuff, and a lot of narrow, we had to move mirrors in, right? I got a video of you moving your mirror in front of us. But I don't know what they rated that. Did they say they rated that trail? It wasn't.
Look, they said that there's going to be they had 3 lines lined up for whenever we got up with all the Broncos there. And there's a beginner, intermediate, and expert. Well, so we all made the rash assumption that there was going to be 3 different trails. No, they had more trail guides for the beginners, and they just sent us all down the same trail. And it was just the total
oh no.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. It wasn't put on Bronco Nation wasn't there, so it wasn't put on them. But yeah, we went down some stuff, and they're and the trail guides were good, and they're we're gonna get you through everything. Yes.
Great guides.
Yeah, they were, and they did get us through everything. I just listened to them and did what they said, and I came back with no damage. But I had a couple. I know that Barb, the very first we start going off, and we're going up this, and the first person goes up, and it's a muddy trail going up this hill, and they didn't keep on the gas pedal, and they started going sideways a little, and so they're they had to back them back down, and that's where my wife's like. She was on the phone with her mom, and she's like, I got to go. We're about ready to go up this big hill. I might be walking. But, you know, that was the first one because the one we went, Allie was with us in Tennessee. We went to the Bays Mountain. That was like, that was pretty easy. But this was like,
I think that was definitely a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Of like how, so it was like a couple who had this in their backyard that like threw it on. I mean, it was cool.
Wisconsin was kind of the same way.
Yeah, some of them were. Oh, did you see the one that went down the hill the wrong way?
Oh yeah, and then they turned over. They rolled over. Yeah.
So we had one Bronco do that because they decided to veer off and go on their own, and it wasn't even a marked trail. It was just they went down this hill, and it was that was bad. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, I hope they do something like that in Tennessee again. But
after going to Moab, I'm ready for Windrock. So
I was gonna say you've really stepped it up this year, too.
Yeah. So Moab, I mean Melissa and Brian took us on. We went on another trail the second day with them, and we went on 7 Mile Rim. And
your guys' trip looks like so much fun.
A lot of stair steps and such.
Did you do the horseshoe at the end?
We did the Wipeout Hill.
I think 7 Mile has like a horseshoe where you're just like you drive up and back down, but you're sideways when you do it.
Oh, Eileen. We did Eileen.
Maybe that's what it's called.
Yeah, but actually Barb drove Eileen. So
nice.
Yeah, so she drove. We had Jeff, my son, actually drove too. So after doing off rodeo, I think that was a comfort level that Barbara needed, and realizing that behind the wheel it's not near as bad as it is in the passenger seat sometimes. And so when she was behind the wheel, I was like, because there was even a spot where when we were coming up to Eileen, then I saw where the tire marks were at, and I'm like, oh gosh, because she doesn't like edges and ledges and stuff. Like she won't go over any bridge that she can see through. Forget it. But so I was like, I saw that coming up, and I was scared for her. I was like, we'll see how this goes. And she mastered that. She went through it. She didn't worry about it. And I think because she's driving, it was a lot easier. And then went through, what was it called? Burnt Toast, where you have very little clearance. Like I don't think a Raptor could get through there.
Is it at the end you come out and you kind of go through some sandy dunes for where you just kind of bomb it and just
So we broke off of that because of time, and we went down Wipeout Hill, and then came out. Technically, that's Wipeout Loop, and so that we could get done by like 3:30, so we could start heading back to the Grand Junction. So we didn't do the whole actual rim, but we did the first half and did what? We went down Wipeout Hill and then went back up and went back down.
Well, you'll be ready for Hell's Revenge now, where you can just go up the crack.
I don't know about that. So, but if Melissa's there, I would trust her. If she says I can do it, I trust her. But I did that, and she's like, "Yeah, we take the off-roading people up this all the time." I said, "Well, I don't feel like I did anything that special then." And she's like, "Yeah, but we always have front lockers for them, and you don't have a front locker. You went up without it." So that made me feel a little bit better. So,
how do you think that's going to help you sell the vehicles? Do you feel like now that you're getting more comfortable with it, do you understand that vehicle a lot better and able to confidently talk about it more?
Oh yeah. And I'll always encourage somebody to get at least a rear locker. If they're, it doesn't matter to me. I don't feel like any trim, get whatever trim level you want, because you can add, if you can add Sasquatch if you want, but you can also add that rear locker. And, like there was the trail we were on with Melissa, we went up and she's like, okay, put your front locker on. I says, I don't have a front locker. She goes, oh, back up. And so she just had me take another route to go around. And so, it's just like I did all the stuff, and there's a couple spots that maybe a front locker would have been easier, but I could still get through it.
Yeah.
And so, it's not necessarily even up that big hill, 32 degree, incline there. And I got up it with just the rear locker, as long as you just keep it moving. And so I'll definitely encourage people, even if they don't think they're going to do it, because it was off rodeo that got me to wanting to do some off-road stuff.
That's the thing I wish most people would like get. Dave, I kind of know your feelings on off rodeo, but like For me, it was so Tim and I were able to go to dealer preview. I didn't meet you there, but all dealers have the chance to go to this. And I wasn't taking my Bronco until I went to off rodeo and fell in love with this thing. And it's like, it builds so much confidence, and it definitely helps me sell them.
Yeah.
Because like I know what the heck I'm talking about now.
Yep.
And Allie, I'm just my thing with off rodeo is I've off roaded for 30 years now, so it's like trying to teach an old dog new trick. If you're new to this and you just bought your Bronco, I 100% say go to it. And of course, Tim, I got to go to the Raptor off rodeo this year, which was a whole lot of fun.
I went to Nevada location. And we got to ride in a Raptor, but we didn't get to do the whole thing like you did. I was a little peeved. I thought because
I'm not big on Raptors. I've just always been like, they're big, they're wide. For my needs, it's like I don't see the point of this till I was out west with one. And when you can high speed through big rocks, and when I mean big rocks, I'm talking like baseball, softball size rocks that you're just I looked down and I was 65 mile an hour going through the desert like that, and I was like, doesn't feel like it. I'm like, okay, especially if I lived out there, a Raptor all day long, it did make a believer out of me there.
Although I gotta say, in Colorado, when we were on the trails, every time someone was having a problem, it was a Raptor.
Because some of those trails were a little narrower.
Yeah.
So
but besides that, they would also take the little extra loop off to the side, off on the side trail, and get stuck or be doing something. And
no, you don't say that.
I can see that though, because you just paid basically $100,000. You're like, I don't know that I want to go tear that up.
Yeah, the guys we were with, they were not afraid to do that.
No.
In fact, it seems like the goal.
Yeah.
Definitely next year, I'm really trying to go to Colorado.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, we, you know, like my Bronco, I knew I was going to put 35s on it. So I did. So I have a little clearance. And so when they said Sasquatch trails, I was like, because of clearance or because of, you know, the height or what do you need, you know? And because I thought maybe it's the front locker. And it was like more for clearance. So I added the bash plates, and I will say we went to Colorado, and I got a lot of spots in those bash plates where I was hitting some rocks. But then we added, thanks to Niles and the aftermarket, we added the shocks. So I got a 2-inch lift now on it, and we went to Moab. I mean,
did you do the Ford ones?
Huh? I did the rough country.
Okay.
The Vertex with the reservoir and everything. So I was like, I took that down to 3 on the trail in Moab, and no touching. I mean, like we didn't even come. I didn't feel like I was like, we're gonna go right over that. So having that extra clearance is nice.
I think the first time I talked to you, Tim, privately, you were like, I don't know if I'm going to keep the Bronco or not. And like now, I just feel like that's a part of your family. Like the Bronco is not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, Barbara won't let me sell it.
No, it was funny. I had borrowed a car. When was it? Like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something. Because I was moving some stuff that I didn't want to take 3 trips with the Bronco, so I borrowed an F-150. And I'm like sitting in the parking lot, and like one of the sales girls came over to me and like knocked on the window, and she goes, "You didn't get rid of your Bronco, did you?" I'm like, absolutely not. Like I feel like that's now a part of who I am.
Well, I always said if I got a 21, I was going to keep it because that was the first year of the 6th gen.
That's where I'm torn, because I kind of want to keep mine.
Yeah.
But I also hit 49,000 miles today. So I'm like, I kind of want to start thinking of my next one, but we'll see.
I'm only at 14, but
I'm jealous of everyone who has low miles on there.
Well, like for the first year, it was just like we didn't drive it much. You know, it was just like the weekend vehicle or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because
you drove the Lightning.
Yeah, I drove the Lightning for a long time, and with no gas, by the way, but which was fine. But no, I mean. But yeah, the Bronco it's staying, and I've added so many things to that. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting rid of that.
Yeah.
We just switched out the bumper. I've already decided 2024, I'm getting a winch on it. I mean,
very nice. Congrats.
I mean, I just thought, you know what? If I am stuck someplace, there are going to be some places where I won't have enough length for just the rope. You know, it probably won't. The winch will just be a lot easier.
Nas is over there. Keep bringing it back.
Oh yeah, he gets all the business over there. I just keep getting Ford Pass points, and I'll be all right. That's why I have the credit card.
Yeah, I know. That's why I have the credit card. I just got tires. I just got my $200 from tires. So
yeah. So
just pay that one off.
Yeah.
Buy a second one.
Well, I have decided I don't know if I'm going to go with the Ford Performance winch because they want like $2,600 for that, but you could just get a winch cheaper than that.
Smitty built. In my opinion, you get a Smitty built the H2O series. They're it's made to be outdoors. It's $700 maybe, and save a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a great winch.
Yeah. I've used those. I'm not big on 4-wheel parts, but their winches, either that or the Badlands from Harbor Freight. I hate to say Harbor Freight, but the Badlands is a very good winch.
Yeah,
I saw
tough to beat at that price.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we wouldn't come here to talk about Winch Nation, but
Baby Nation, Winch Nation.
What time period is this? Winch Nation, jeez.
So I know for us, like when we go to these events, especially like the Bronco ones, that we want to drive there, we want to drive around, hit the trails and everything else. That's what makes it hard because like there's some of those like in California and even Nevada. It's like that's a long drive.
Mm-hmm.
What's the furthest you guys drive to go to an event?
That's the thing. I hit just over 9 hours for Tennessee.
So it was 14 for us.
We went 22 for Carlisle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a haul for you guys, and there's no real easy way.
With kids. A 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
I don't know how they did it.
So for us,
especially that 3-year-old.
Like, and even for like Colorado, like for me, it's getting the time off work because it's 24 hours, and I can't do that drive by myself.
Yeah.
So for that one, I'm gonna have to fly, which sucks because like I want to bring my Bronco out there to get the content, to get the photos, like because I've seen the trails and they're epic, and I'm like, I can't take a full week off work.
Yeah, I gotta look. Let's see. Dream Cruise, is that in July usually?
August. August. I can tell you when it is.
Like the third weekend of August or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's difficult. Like, I know.
I think it's August 16th and 17th.
Yeah, see, that was one thing that for Colorado is Barbara couldn't go to Colorado because it's within the first month of school, and she's a teacher, so they can't take out.
Oh, yeah.
So Sarah went, and so now I got like 2 kids that went off road.
Yeah,
she rode one of the trails by herself. She didn't let me. Next time we're gonna switch. I can drive the whole trail.
Yes. If it is my day to drive, I am driving.
I was gonna say I want to ride with Sarah.
So when we went to Moab,
although I will say the days that he was driving, I got all the content. On the days that I was driving, I got like no content. So
way to go, Tim.
Let's do half days. We'll split it half and half.
That was my problem when I ran an off-road event here in Tennessee. I was always trail leading, so I was either spotting people through stuff or like there was never a picture of me actually doing anything other than, you'd see me up my hands up in the air or something. That was the picture.
Even when you and Kelly came to Michigan, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, getting like 60 Broncos at least, like all figured out of like what to do. So.
Yeah,
that would be a good one for you to go to. Is one of the Michigan club meets, Tim.
They're
at Hollyoaks Off-Road Park. What you've experienced in Moab blows Hollyoaks away, but you're surrounded. Literally, I think it was 100 that time we were up there, Allie.
Yeah, the time that you came up, that was our record event, and we had like 117, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
They would love you up there, Tim.
It's so fun. Well, and like it's fun because that's one of the things I love about living in Michigan. Ford comes to all of our events. Like we just did a simple like Christmas light thing. We had 3 of them in Broncos and they didn't even announce themselves. They're like, we're just here to look. We're just here to talk to people. And like they didn't want to be known of like their job roles and stuff. But it was really cool to have them there.
Yeah.
So
we got Niles he's a drone. You have the drone license and everything, whatever.
Oh, very cool.
He might end up coming to Colorado with us this year. We'll see if we can get him.
Are we gonna have room in the Bronco for all of us?
We might have to take 2 Broncos. Niles, you want to buy a Bronco? Want it titled just your name or yours? And your
Don't,
wife?
Tim, don't say that too loud. My wife is right next to me. Please
Sell
don't
the
say that.
Bronco.
Bronco.
That Bronco can drive down your dirt road just fine.
Bronco.
Yeah.
Come on,
We've
man,
talked
you
about
get
it.
key
Hey,
plan.
I think you've had
You
that
gotta-
truck long
well-
enough. I think it's time to switch it up.
Hey, they have a Bronco Sport
They do have a
with
Bronco
a
Sport
lift.
with a lift, right?
Nice.
We have,
All right,
yeah.
we'll see ya.
Okay,
Bring it
not
out.
gonna lie, people do need to realize how capable Bronco Sports are.
Yes.
I will say there was one in Tennessee that went to that off-road park that I was more impressed with that one than some of the bigger Broncos. I'm like,
Yep.
they were doing more for the brand than the actual Broncos.
Okay, so that couple was in Wisconsin. You
Oh,
remember
really?
that, Niles? And
Yeah.
so, okay, so
The red Bronco Sport, right?
yes.
Yes.
And so we were on this trail, and there's a certain hill you had to go up, and then you're gonna wheel lift on it. And pretty much Niles rode with Derek. He doesn't have a rear locker because he hasn't planned on taking his off road. So he says, "Well, I'm going to do it," but I thought it was going to be an easy trail, which that was kind of my fault. But he couldn't get up the hill with his without a rear locker. He couldn't get up and over it. But so we waited down the bottom, and they said, "Well, this other section, if you don't have a rear locker, you're probably not going to get through it." And we just watched a Bronco Sport just come right out of that. So they
Yeah.
rode with
That
us.
is amazing.
So their Bronco without a rear locker, right? Couldn't get
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
They're capable.
Yeah.
So, and they have you have a Badlands, right? Or is it a
Yes.
Big Ben?
Badlands.
Badlands. Okay.
There
that's
you
right.
go. Team
But,
Badlands.
I think I have to go to Colorado again because Brian and Melissa expect me to be mid gunner.
Yeah.
Sarah,
really
I
into
need you
that.
to
I
go
love-
to
I love Sarah
Colorado
just
again
spelling
because I
this.
need to meet you.
All right, Dave, you got to come out too.
Yep.
Well, my goal is to be there. Like I said, for what I do in the auto industry, it's just like as soon as I plan, I tried to be in Moab 2 years ago, and my son broke his arm, and all this. My mom had these health issues, and it's like anytime I don't even plan anything. I told a buddy, I was like, this year, I was like, I plan on doing Bronco Safari, but I'm not really telling people because as soon as I announce it, really officially, it'll never happen. So for me, yeah, I want to be at everything. Trust me. Like Johnson Valley, I want to go out there. I want to see King of Hammers. I've never covered King of Hammers, and I've had invitations after invitations.
I'm contemplating so bad going to KOH because like I know Bronco Nation just launched their stuff today, but I'm like, I really want to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been out in the
Yeah.
desert out there. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah. So, all right, you guys didn't go to Wisconsin, Niles. We're like talking. You're not talking much here. So, what did you?
I don't go to events. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What did you go? You went to Wisconsin though. As
Yeah,
well, I
you and
kinda
me
write
went
down.
to Wisconsin. You and I also went to Roush.
Yes, we did go see. Yeah, we went to the Roush factory.
Plant.
Yeah, the plant.
Oh, that
was
sounds
pretty
awesome.
cool. And it was
Yeah.
really cool is how much that they actually like do outside of just the Roush products.
Well, what was kind of funny was like, so they're walking us around, showing us the production line of the Super Duty, the Ranger, the Mustang, the F-150, like super clean facility. I mean, polished floors, like the whole place is just immaculate. But what was hilarious was there's so many white curtains. There's so many blocked off rooms. Like, oh yeah, you guys can't go in here. You can't go in there. And then we go into this one completely different building. They want to show us the machine where they put the vehicle like on, like it like shakes it. They basically tried to get us to turn our phones in to like before we walked in the building.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I'm just sitting here thinking like, for what the public knows of Roush performance versus what they actually do, we only see 10% of what Roush actually is.
Yeah.
So it's just it was mind blowing to see. You know, we sell superchargers all the time, but they're way more capable than that.
And isn't it Roush that makes the GT engine? Is that right?
Yeah. The 5.2. Yeah.
Ali probably knows that better than I do.
I know these superchargers. Tim keeps bugging me about that for my Mustang. I'm like, so tempted.
We're one of the top 5 dealers in superchargers in the country. So
Yeah,
we
it's
can
that.
get you
What
one.
is it? $8
Number
grand or
2?
so.
Yeah.
$8 to put one in.
Yeah, parts are, yeah.
I don't have enough 4 points for that.
Yeah, it is quite a few Ford points, but
Yeah.
man, boy howdy, does it wake it up. It's a rowdy unit after that.
Yeah.
I think it's rowdy now, man. Tim, that was one of my favorite trips of the year. Was in not for Allie, because we probably gave her a gray hair over there because I kept bugging her, but like for us picking up our Mustang, and right after that, Tim's like, "Yeah, the supercharger's coming for this thing," and I'm like, oh, "Please don't tell me this
Like,
stuff,
why?
man." Like,
Y'all ever make it out to Long Mag? Just let a guy know I'm in the aftermarket office. We'll find out a supercharger real quick.
Yeah. Gosh. So, what did you think of Wisconsin? You
It was
didn't
awesome.
you didn't go to Tennessee or Colorado, but you really liked Wisconsin.
Wisconsin was a
Tennessee-
lot of fun.
Tennessee is something you should definitely try to go to.
I think that when we decide to eventually get a Bronco,
So
eventually, give me a minute.
You're gonna see a shoe flying across the room soon.
It's like, man, like, what if a guy was trying to get something for Christmas or a birthday? Like, Bronco's hard to pull off, right? No, Wisconsin was a lot of fun. It was actually really eye-opening to me because I saw a lot of accessories and I talked to a lot of people with a lot of different uses and objectives for their vehicles. So to actually go and put it to use to a point where I personally wanted to tap out. If Derek wasn't driving, he would have had to get in my driver's seat to go and do some of those trails. The fact that a vehicle is that capable is wow. You know what I mean?
So crazy how well they did with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you know me, Tim. I'm an F-150 guy. I'm on my third one since I started at the dealership, and it's bad. I love the F-150, and so like I think that is like the peak pinnacle of capability when it comes to a vehicle, 4x4, and
Yeah.
to see a Bronco do what it does, and then to see the Bronco Sport get down like that, it put respect for me towards SUVs, and I didn't have before.
I'm the same way because I had 6 F-150s before my Bronco.
Yeah.
And like I do miss my F-150 from time to time, but like I do not see myself getting out of Bronco.
Yeah. It'd be tough.
Yeah. So I will say I do have a Maverick. I'm a Maverick owner.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a Maverick trimmer, and I'll say that thing, it I don't know, it's geared differently than I need to get in an EcoBoost like FX4, but man, that thing, we actually have somebody, one of our members.
He actually just commented.
Yeah, he races those.
Yeah, he said,
And
can't wait to race
rallycross.
a Bronco against my trimmer at a rallycross. 9.4 inches of clearance is adequate, and the diff is perfect for mud, sand, and gravel courses. Slow crawling over rocky terrain, no thanks.
Yeah, he's won what, 5? I don't
He's won
probably
a
more than
few.
that. He's won a bunch with the Maverick trimmer
Mm-hmm.
and rallycross, and
We
he
have
went
one.
to the
No,
national.
we just sold ours today.
But yeah, well, we have one in stock. Just became available.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy because I got one. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to get one, I'm going to get like a trimmer because I want the off-road one, and I might even put a lift on it a little bit because I know that RTR has a lift for them. But that thing, I don't know, it just hauls. I mean, I can come out of the dealership and take off, and I'm up to 40 like that. I mean,
I
it's
left mine.
That's the thing. They are
crazy.
definitely underestimated. They're cool little trucks, but
they're light, and
hard to
so
get.
I mean, it's
Can whip that thing around quick.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's got snappier than I thought it'd be. I was just really surprised.
Yeah.
Driving
I definitely
it.
missed mine.
So
Drove
haven't
mine
taken
for
it
a
off road
year,
yet.
So
We got a trail here. We're gonna take it off road. In fact, I don't know about you, Allie, but we're close to 23rd. You guys?
I am No, we are open. Well, we're kind of open. We have like 3 people going in for pre-delivery like Christmas surprises, and then they're leaving. So we have, I think, 4 maybe that are getting Christmas bows and stuff and going to surprise them. But I am actually off starting Thursday, and I do not go back until Tuesday.
So so our dealership is really big in, we have every holiday off. So Labor Day, we're not here.
Yeah, we have
Memorial
every
Day.
major holiday off.
I mean, all those. It was probably right around COVID. happened where we started doing we used to be open depending on the day of the week it was Christmas Eve till like noon. Now it's like nope. Christmas Eve is like a holiday now.
Nice.
And so
and because Christmas Eve is on a Sunday, they gave us Saturday.
Gave us Saturday off.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah,
we're the dealership's entirely closed. In fact, we close at 4:30 on Friday.
I mean, you might be able to go off-roading that day if you want to go. But I know we have plans to go to the dinosaur park.
I heard about that.
How far are y'all from Disney Off-Road Park?
What? Where's that?
There's a off-road park out there called Disney.
What?
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Let's
there's
searching.
Kansas Rocks down in the southeastern part of the state, and then about 45 minutes from here, maybe an hour, there's Tuttle Creek, and which is it's
it
an
in
OHV.
Disney, Oklahoma? Is that why it's
Maybe
called
that.
Disney?
Okay, maybe that's what it was. That's
Okay.
I'm sorry, Oklahoma, Kansas. It's all the same to me. You Flatlanders.
We recently went to Oklahoma. It's completely different.
We have different colored dirt. Yeah.
That's actually true. We went disc golfing and they have red dirt. So
yes, they have red dirt.
Completely different.
Kind of like Moab's red dirt. I tried bringing some of that dirt home, and then we went through Colorado. And
Hey, I've done that. I have in my old studio over there. I have a rock from Moab. Like the first time I ever flew out there, and then I was like, for some reason, I was like, it's a national park where I was at. I was like, I'm going to take this rock, but somehow I'm going to get in trouble for taking this rock. And I remember even getting a little nervous getting on the airplane. It was in my luggage. I was like, somehow, like
I'm going to get caught.
They're going to know.
You're just waiting for TSA.
Well,
sir, take a step with me.
Well, I won't say whether or not we took any rocks off of a Moab trail because we're not
Just
supposed to take anything, right? Leave it how it
Tread
is.
lightly. Leave it better than you found it.
You did. It was a little lighter.
It was, 3 little grandson rocks.
It was a broken rock. Okay.
Hey, as long as you don't carve your name in or write your name like the one people did a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the ones who ruin everything for everyone.
So to get to Disney, Oklahoma, and their off-roading area, Hogan's Off-Road Park, is 4 hours and 33 minutes.
Ooh, all right. So it's not close enough.
Not for a weekend, but for
nice,
maybe a weekend, but yeah.
a long weekend.
Tim, I have to say, I was totally jealous that you got to go to RTR this year.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah,
I was like, man. I mean, I haven't for some reason I haven't got to cross paths with that crew just yet to interview them, but
well, and I mentioned this. You may not have caught it on that live stream, but I started doing these rants at the end, but. I really think they're doing things the right way right now. That Ford reached out to them to do the drift brake, and they got the Mustang before before production and everything else. Whereas Roush, they've said they're not going to have some of these things like the 24 F-150. We're not going to see a Roush one until next summer for 24 because they're not getting it pre-production. They're getting them whenever they can get one. Yeah. And, so I think RTR really he's really about, hey, he's a driver. He wants other people to experience the same thing. He's really about making sure that vehicle can be what people want it to be.
Yeah.
We have 3 of those Spec 3s here. We have number 3, 4, and 6. We got number 7 coming soon. And I tell you what, we have a dark horse too. I don't know that RTR might just give the dark horse a run for its money. I mean, the way the way it is on there, that the kit that he puts on that, and lowering springs, the tactical, like all that stuff that he has on that. I mean,
chef's kiss.
We might have now. Let's get your drone out. We might have to take a drive.
Hey, you saw the video that I made.
Anyway, I know the dark horse, wheels are wider. Ours is a handling package, but other than that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably the dark horse has some other things that probably the GT doesn't have, but these are the ones that we put the RTRs on are GT performance. So GT with the performance package. Yeah. So they have that set up. So
Roush has kind of gone a little more corporate too, where RTR is a little more Wild West with what they get to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're working real closely with Ford. I mean, like when we were there was something under a curtain. I think it was a Lightning that we couldn't.
I remember that in your video. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was that Lightning Red Bull truck that they were working on, but I don't know for sure. it looked like an F-150, that's for sure. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and he came here too for a visit after that.
Oh, fun.
nice.
So yeah, so he's super awesome, and he wants to talk to the community.
Mm-hmm.
That's something else that I like.
That's the thing that I love about those guys is that they're not afraid to jump in and talk to everybody and get their input and see like what they really want.
He spent what, like 10, 15 minutes talking to one guy about his Mustang. Well,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he had
Just
a
off to the
line for
side.
signatures, and
cool.
guy came up and started talking about something. He took the time to talk to him.
Went over to his Mustang, and it was funny. Because we did like a ribbon cutting because we were signed up. We were going to do RTR and everything, which we were on with them in the past. But
Yeah.
we did this at a museum here in town, Garage Museum, and on the road along there comes across, but it goes over these railroad tracks. So he was, going over and did a walk around with everybody on the RTR, and he goes, "You know what? Let me just show you." And I mean, there's like no room. I mean, it's like
You have cars on both.
I mean, it's like he could have been in the showroom doing that. I mean, that's how small it was of a room, and he was doing like figure eights right there. And there was a Corvette,
so cool.
an expensive Corvette sitting there, and I'm serious. He probably came that close to that Corvette.
and he's doing it on railroad tracks.
Yeah, right by the railroad tracks, making sure he missed. I mean, this guy is good. I mean, he knows the boundaries of that vehicle, and it's
he
crazy.
also, like, when we were doing the content, he was drifting on the lot.
Yeah.
He knew exactly where we should be for the best content.
Yeah, he's a content creator and everything too.
Well, and he knows, like, hey, go over there, and then he knows where you're standing, and he will play to the camera.
Oh yeah,
Like, he knew exactly where I was standing with my camera, and he whipped that thing at the end right so it would end right in front of me, so I had the perfect shot for a whip around.
And we took some pictures of the tire, but he said you can't publish that anywhere because they weren't Nittos. But they were what we had in stock. We didn't have Nittos, but anyway. But yeah, it was. I mean, yeah,
he's like,
I think RTRs.
I can do one more round. These are about to go out, and as he pulled it around and then took off to go park it for pictures, it popped, so he couldn't move it any further.
Oh no!
Yeah, they had that.
So, yeah, he knows the limits of his tires in his vehicle.
Yeah, he roasted those. I mean, only a couple of rides. I got a ride, and one, and it was one of those things where I wasn't scared because you could. I mean, I just had this. You could tell he knew what he was doing. It's like I wasn't scared at all. It was just fun.
I think they were driving in SEMA in 21 when I was there because they had the GT 500s there, and I think he was driving there, and I had a chance to ride with him, and I should have, and I don't.
Yeah.
I think I was too worried about Broncos that year.
I think he goes every year now. He was there drifting this year with his team. They had the whole team with him.
They had the Bronco the
Bronco Fun Haver.
Yeah, that was there, and they had three of them, so they were all. Chelsea was there, and him. I
was like they would send all three Mustangs out at the same time, and they were in sync and everything. And I'm like, do you think that they consider this practice? You can tell that they practice together, and that
it's crazy how good they are, though.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it looks like a dance out there.
So yeah, I think definitely this year. I mean, we're gonna go to Supercell Tennessee. I want to hit Supercell Colorado again. That was a blast. Those are other events that I went to. Definitely, we're gonna repeat those. And probably won't go back to Wisconsin. Although it was fun, it was more of the show. It was much smaller scale.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller compared to Colorado and Tennessee for sure.
Colorado is all about the trails. I mean, there's so many. Bronco Nation had a trail ride each day, but then also there's the Bronco or the Colorado Bronco Club. They had different trails as well. So many different groups to go out with. Those are all about the trails, which is really cool. But I'm probably going to try to hit the Dream Cruise too, hopefully this year. So.
Well, we got to figure out to get you on our booth this year at Supercell, Tim. There'll probably be a line wrapped around Supercell of what people want to meet you.
Last year, nobody really came up to me that much. A couple did.
I'm
telling you.
I don't know. Well, I was going to see if Bronco Nation is there and see if they let me put up a table or not. How much?
You're probably in better light with Jordan than I am, so.
We'll talk later. Anyway. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the idea of just going around and interviewing people. I don't know. I'm kind of getting into that right now.
Have them pull up to your booth and you have them.
That was my other thought was to get a booth and just have people, hey, you want to bring your Bronco over and we'll interview you and all that. I kind of want to do that concept, but I don't know.
So then everyone knows where to find you when where you're going to be, and then because otherwise you could be walking and go, oh, I want to do a video on this, but the people aren't there. Yeah, because it could be the fact that people would like to talk and such, and if I have a static place I'm going to be, the only problem with doing that, then I feel like I'm limited to having to be there.
Yeah. Well, that's Allie. That's Allie. We can never get Allie to hold still because she wants to go do all the fun events and stuff. And I'm like, hey, Allie,
I just really like the drives. They're just super fun. But now that Maya is kind of struggling a little bit, we'll see how many drives I actually do this year. So
we're trying to. I'm trying to plan a live stream there. So our normal Ford Talk show, we're going to try to do something.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the broadcast? You ever listen to that?
Yeah, those guys are my neighbors, basically.
All right. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I keep bugging Jonathan to do the show, and he's like, yeah, we need to do it. But then it's like your neighbors, you can never get, you can never, if you're close to people, like I could probably fly to Kansas and come see you faster than I could go 20 minutes away to see Jonathan. So
funny how that works.
I think we're going to we're going to do a meetup with our members in Florida at some point coming up. And
you guys are world travelers, man. Look at this.
So, well, those are travel miles. At this point, we actually were going to fly to the Moab and do the off-rodeo. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It's 9 hours by the time we drive from here to Wichita, get on an airplane, an hour and a half early, fly there, and then do the same thing. There's a connecting flight and everything. I figured out it was going to be a total travel time of 9 hours. I'm like, I could drive there in 12. Yeah. Let's just drive there. Yeah. And so that's what we did. And I'm glad we did because then we were able to go off-roading. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I would say this year, one of the biggest highlights was going to Moab. That was
Moab special. The first time I like I was telling you earlier, when I drove from Denver there, when you hit Grand Junction and you take the left, I forget what the road is that goes into Moab, but all of a sudden you just it's like a light switch of red rocks. Like just suddenly you're like, am I on Mars? Like what is going on?
Yeah. Well, we were there and on a lot of the trails, and I'm still working on a video for that, but you're sitting there and you see the big plateaued mountains. I don't know what you call those, but then right between those, you can see the La Salle Mountains over there, that are in Colorado. And it's like, that is cool. The snow on them and everything, to just see that both of them through there.
I will eventually make it out west.
I hear that. Yep.
That's a lot of fun. But Colorado trails are fun. And now I got a book. We got all kinds of trails to go to.
Oh yeah. Well, Imogene Pass in Telluride is my favorite trail ever. It's not difficult by any means, but you will get up to 14,000 feet in the air. It's ridiculously cold. I was there in August when it should have been hot. You're in hoodies because you're so high up there, you're cold. But it's just an easy going trail, but you will see all kinds of beautiful scenery. You get to see all the old mines. That's a special one too.
Check that one out.
I love that kind of stuff.
Tin Cup Pass was a lot of fun, and Hancock Pass was a lot of technical stuff on that one. So definitely, but I think we could do Tin Cup without really any too much help. A couple spots maybe, but nothing that we needed any kind of help on, like any kind of spotting in any of those places. Just a couple, you just have to be careful, but.
Well, I know if I want to take my boys up to Colorado and I don't have an off-roading vehicle, we can at least go see St. Elmo, because you don't need an off-roading vehicle to get to St. Elmo.
Dirt roads,
you don't need one to get to Tin Cup, so we can go see Tin Cup, go see some of the things around there that you wouldn't necessarily need an off-roading vehicle to get to.
Well, even the Maverick, just like a Bronco Sport, could get through we could get up to Tin Cup. We just couldn't go back the other side because it's too, bumpy there.
Yeah.
So we'd have to come back down the other way, but that still could be done. But so definitely, we're actually talking about doing a trip that Barbara can go on, went to Colorado and trying to take more of the family and kids and stuff and going and do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
That's so fun.
Yeah. All right. That's all I had. Any other trips you guys went on?
I did Bronco Takeover in August at the Silver Lake Sand Dunes. That one's always fun.
Did someone ask about that? We have questions.
Yeah. I think
saw
she
somebody
answered it.
commented.
Oh, and then Mackinac, there's Bronco Takeover when we drove over the Mackinac Bridge.
Yeah.
That one was
Yeah,
fun.
I was jealous of that one because I want to see Mackinac.
So that's a lot of Michigan trips. I got to
Mhm.
figure out. I think Michigan's like a 14-hour drive for us, though.
I mean, you can always drive up and just hang out.
Yeah.
There was the trip we took to Roush, where we were like, we should have just drove it because we had a layover. We were there. It was like 2 a.m. before we got there. It was ridiculous.
Well, I remember we sat at the airport in a restaurant and had some food. And I remember dozing off on the floor waiting for the flight like that morning at like 3 a.m. It was horrible. We got back to our hotel. We slept for 3 hours. And then at 8 a.m. we had to be at Roush. So like we walked into Roush headquarters just like
take a nap.
absolutely just like zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all
Horrible.
slept well that night. So I think we all went to bed about 7 p.m. that night.
Roush was like, yeah, you guys want to come out for drinks after we do the tour and this and that? And everyone was like, no,
we're done.
We're done. We're out of here.
That sounds like when I went to the launch of the Ranger in March up there. Ford flew me up for that event, and me and Kelly didn't get up there till it was very late. By the time then we had to get to the airport hotel, which was completely the opposite side of where we were. We had to walk. We're carrying all of our luggage, and to be up at 8 a.m. the next day, I think we probably didn't get to bed till midnight or 1. And you're like, you feel like as soon as you got to sleep, oh, now I got to go. And then after the event, the press event, they're like, oh, see you later. You got to fly back now. And you're like, wow, I think I was in Michigan maybe 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
you
went
were
to
in and
Detroit.
out very quick.
Our Detroit trip was our first year to Detroit was 12 hours. We got there at, I think, noon, got to the show at 2.
Yep.
Got on the plane the next morning at 5 a.m.
Well, and that was the year Biden went, and so we basically went through security twice that day, not getting on the plane and then getting there.
Press was not happy about that. I mean, I'm not getting political. They just because
that
it was kind
so
of
annoying. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, because it's like I just went through airport security. I promise I don't have anything in here.
Right.
Although that's when I was pumping after having a baby, and I had all my stuff. So then I got weird looks and stopped because of that. So,
well, where you got the pocket knife went through Wichita.
Yeah, I went through Kansas City,
with a
but
pocket
then on
knife.
the way back through Chicago, they caught it. So that was Chicago.
She forgot she had it.
I got flagged in Detroit for my milk, and then
sounds about right.
What else? I got flagged on the way to New York, or on the way back from New York. I got flagged on that.
It was
trip.
just a typical thing on travel.
And then you got flagged.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, and Lebo got flagged
because of my microphone. You ever had your microphone?
I did that in Vegas. Vegas is awful. I did an overlanding trip in 2017, and I took all my podcasting gear, and it wasn't as simple in 2017 as it is now, but they made me pull out all my gear in security.
Yep.
And I was like it was a nightmare because people behind you are aggravated.
Yeah.
That you're stopping everything, and they're going through all the mics, and I'm like, look, man, if I was gonna rob somebody or whatever, I don't think I'm bringing my audio gear to do it. I'm not gonna record the situation.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I have a certain mic that I have that one seems to get flagged a lot for some reason.
Yeah, but Lebo got flagged because he's a collector of bullets, and one had slipped into the lining of his backpack without his knowledge. They're like, do you know why we flagged your bag? He's like, no. She's like, there's a bullet in here.
That's not.
We got that in Denver. We had off-road lights in our backpacks. We bought from some friends out there, and it looks like we shed a granola bar within the bag too. So it looked like plastic explosive, basically.
Yeah.
And dude, they pulled guns.
Yeah.
Like it was the freakiest thing ever. And they're like, what is in this bag? And then she went to go, hey, no, it's just, and they're like, they wouldn't let her near the bag, and they're swabbing the bag. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And after that, like our flight home, we were just paranoid of like, please, if we get to Nashville, please don't.
See, they flagged me in Chicago, and they're like, what's in here? And I'm like, my pump, my breast pump. Like, yeah, it can look scary. I have tubing and all this other stuff in there, and I have containers with liquid. Like, yeah, that could
You
look
should have
scary.
just said it's my old man's like breathing treatment or something.
Oh my god!
But they actually so it's actually known they can open the milk and test the air, but they are actually not allowed to do anything else with it. Yeah, but it's a medically necessary thing, and so it's like Leave it alone.
Yep. All right. Well, kept you guys long enough. Appreciate you guys jumping on last minute.
Yeah.
No
Like
worries.
this.
This was fun.
So we're gonna do a little rant here at the end and talk about some Maverick.
You just don't call it WTFs. That's all I ask.
No.
No, this
No.
is after hours.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about Maverick and how they didn't quite think about the rear seat very well.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you having me on, buddy.
Yeah.
I know. Thank you. This was
Yeah.
fun.
And I have to do a plug. If you're on Tim's channel, come see us at All Train Nation.
Yes.
And
Yes.
go subscribe to Allie's channel over there.
Yes.
And,
Yep.
spread
And I
the love.
actually have both. Those are the ones that are linked in the description. I didn't mention that earlier
Thank
in the
you so
stream, but I
much.
always link that stuff down there. And yes, definitely.
Real quick, Niles, what happened with the coyotes?
We live out in the middle of nowhere. There's just been
Yeah.
there's a pack of them that's been moving in close to our property, and so, you know, but the number's 556. If that means anything to you, you should know that our coyote problem is just fine.
Yeah.
I just watched a good YouTube video on people sniping.
Well, we were like,
So,
he's out.
yeah.
He said he's out there
It's good.
dealing with coyotes with his laptop, and we're like, we're imagining him taking his laptop and throwing it at the coyotes.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
when we first moved out here, you know, we lived in town for a while with our 3 dogs, and when we moved out here, we're laying in bed, and all you can hear is just a pack of coyotes just screaming in the field behind us. So you let freedom ring a few times, and all of a sudden everything quiets down. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
So,
weird how that works.
yeah, crazy. I don't know why would a 556 ringing through the middle of the night do anything for someone? I don't know.
Yeah.
But so yeah, no, coyotes are so we've had snakes and now we've had coyotes, and we're just working through whatever nature brings.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know
So-
what? You can have that country life.
I want the country life.
I don't go on these off-roading trips, but like when it snows, getting to my house is like an off-roading trip.
Yeah.
Like,
It
that
very-
counts, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it works.
So yeah, at minimum, it's a 6-mile dirt road drive to get to my
I mean,
house.
When I was learning how to drive, my grandma took me out to the dirt roads in the country, and she's like, now there's things that you need to know about driving on these roads.
Yep.
Especially in the snow. This is what you do, and this is what you don't do.
Well, I
These
heard
are
that
the rules.
pretty much they just go as fast as you can until you get out of control, and then you go a
No,
little
it's
bit
go
less
as
of
fast
that.
as you can until you start fishtailing, let off a little bit, and that's how fast you should be going.
Yep.
If the person coming towards you is not putting up a dust cloud, you don't move over for them. They move over for you.
That's
Very true.
gospel right there.
Very true.
That was my great grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
good
right.
stuff.
It is 9:16. So yeah, we're gonna get our rant here and finish out the stream. Thank you guys very much.
Yes,
As
thank you.
Dave usually says, it's not easy to get you out of here. So
It's not you, it's me.
yeah. Thank you guys. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
See you.
Oh, they're all jumping off themselves. All right. Okay, so that's fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what alternation's like, because a lot of interviewing people and everything. It's just a lot of fun. So hopefully, I don't know how many, we still have some people on here and everything.
Yeah.
Fun.
We still got people in here. 64.
Okay. Well, so I haven't done the recalls. We can. I'll just do that. There aren't really a lot. Actually, there is one recall I want to talk about. Maybe we'll do recalls right now. Then let me do a couple of these recalls, and we'll get into my rant if you guys want to stick around for that. Actually, I need to move this back over here because
And it's not about the what's it called? Someone guessed it's the what you use to change your tire.
Oh, the jack.
It's not about the jack behind the seat. It's about something else.
Although that is part of it.
It's part of it, but it's not the full.
They're trying to guess it.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me
I of course know what it's all about.
try to add this camera here. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do recalls then. We'll do a couple recalls and we'll go from there. So, all right. Where's my sheet? Here we go. All right. So going over some of the recalls that we have for this week, there's just a couple, although most of them are safety recalls. This first one is safety recall 23S63, and it's for the 23 model year F-150 and Super Duty vehicles. There we go. And this affects about 17,969 vehicles. And the reason for this recall is that in some of the affected vehicles, the steering wheel clock spring assembly may have an insufficient weld between the bus bar and the ribbon cable, which can lead to a loss of electrical connection to the driver front airbag. This may result in the illumination of the airbag warning lamp. The customer may also notice loss of illumination and function of switches on the steering wheel, example, the radio controls, or an inoperative horn. The driver airbag that does not deploy when intended increases the risk of an injury in a crash, I should say. So this in here, I think this is a advance notice. So this is like for dealers getting advance notice. This is not the official one yet. So there's no fix yet, but just to let dealers know that they're, if they have their customers having that happen, then to take care of that. And it does not say that you can't. Okay, these are all for 23s, so they've all been pretty much delivered. So that's probably why there's no do not. There is a do not demonstrate or deliver. So the vehicles cannot be driven or delivered if they have this, if they're on a dealer lot. So, all right, the next one is safety recall 23S55, and this is for 2020 to 2022 Explorers. And this is actually we talked about this before as an advance notice. Now this is the official recall that's going out to customers. 236,803 vehicles are affected by this. This is the one that has to do with the rear axle bolt fractures. Again, we talked about this back in October. And the reason for this one is in some of the affected vehicles, the rear axle bolt may fracture. A fractured rear axle bolt will allow the rear axle housing to move out of position, resulting in a severe noise and vibration. If the rear axle bolt breaks, the drive shaft or half shafts may become disconnected, resulting in a loss of transmission torque to the rear wheels. Transmission torque is necessary to hold the vehicle in park and also needed for the vehicle to move forward or backward. So they do have the service action for this now. Does it say when letters are going to go out? Let's see. Parts to repair this condition are currently not available in sufficient quantities to service all of the affected vehicles. So they have some, but not enough quantity to send out letters yet. Therefore, to ensure an ample supply of parts is available, owners of affected vehicles will be notified in separate mailings. The mailings will begin during the week of January 8th. So January 8th is when you'll start getting letters and probably go to people that they know are needing it, that kind of thing. All right. The next one is safety recall 23S56. And this is for 21 to 22 model year Mustang Mach-E vehicles. And this in here is, there was an advance notice we talked about in October. This is the official one with evidently a repair now. So typically what will happen is you'll get an advance notice. So dealers kind of know that this is going on, but they don't have a fix yet. And then once they finally get a fix to it, then you see the official notice and the letters go out. So this is the official notice. 30,000 vehicles are affected. And this is these 21 and 22 model year Mustang Mach-E's. This is for a high voltage battery junction box replacement and powertrain control module, PCM, battery energy control module, BECM, and secondary onboard diagnostic control module, SOBDMC is abbreviation, software update. Of course, in some of the affected vehicles, the high voltage battery main contactors may overheat, which can result in a contactor that remains open or a contactor that welds closed. Some of these vehicles that have received recall 22S41 software remedy will receive a malfunction indicator lamp when resistance is measured higher than the threshold. Those vehicles will experience a reduction in vehicle power with the average of 50% of its rated power to prevent further damage to the contactors. The vehicle will still be able to accelerate to highway speeds safely with this power derating. So, and then, so there's several different recalls that are affected by this. So the other one is, in some of the cases, it says 22S41 remedy has not proactively detected damage to the contactors on extended range in GT vehicles. This can allow the contactor to weld closed or prevent the contactor from properly closing while driving. If the contactors weld closed while driving upon the next key cycle, a MIL, see, what did that stand for? That's the malfunction indicator lamp, will be illuminated. A vehicle diagnostic will be set to DTC and vehicle will not start. Does say also if the contactors are prevented from closing while driving, vehicle diagnostic will set a DTC or MIL will be illuminated. The vehicle will display stop safely now, and the vehicle will immediately lose motive power. The vehicle will coast to a stop, and all 12-volt systems, including power brakes and steering, will remain functional. So letters are going out. Says parts to repair this condition are currently not available in sufficient quantities to service all of the affected vehicles. Therefore, to ensure an ample supply of parts is available, owners are affected vehicles will be notified in 4 separate mailings. Looks like mailings are scheduled to begin the week of December 29th. Or it says begin by December 29th, not the week of. So there you go. It's mainly GTs, it sounds like to me on those. And then this last one is compliance recall 23C41, and this is for 22 to 24 model year Mavericks. This is a turn signal outage detection failure. So this is 186,138 vehicles are affected by this recall. And the reason for the recall is the affected vehicles may not conform to the requirements by the federal motor vehicle standards, the turn signal for the turn signal lamp failure. So infected vehicles contain rear taillights with 2 turn signal lamp bulbs on each side, and the vehicle will not provide an outage notification to the driver if only one of the 2 rear turn signal lamp bulbs has failed. So it sounds like that shouldn't be an issue, but this is a compliance, not a safety recall, because basically they're saying that you will have a certain amount of time to be able to get this taken care of if you need it. It says letters are going to go out to owners the week of January 2nd. I'm an owner of a Maverick in that time frame, so I'll let you know if I get one. But there we go. I know some people can look up theirs, I think, and see if they have that. But that is the last recall. So just those recalls for this week.
All right.
Okay. Now, rant or questions?
Which one do you want to start with?
I think we do it after questions. Let's do Q&A.
Yeah. All right.
That's
We're
after hours.
at 10 questions. I did want to highlight we have a new member.
Oh, yeah.
Randy Akers.
Well, we have 15 one earlier.
I know.
But
we also, Social High also gave us a donation.
Oh, awesome.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I imagine Bill Murray image from Scrooge here.
With my rant, coming up, maybe.
Yep.
There you go.
When is the Pro Access tailgate for the F-150 available?
We don't know. I assume it's going to be available about the same time that trimmer will be available, because those are both late availability items. And the way that'll work is, so a lot of I have this bad feeling that people are going to think that that's available on the launch, because it's supposed to be available on certain trim levels when you get to a certain package put on it. That you're automatic. I think it's the bed utility package that comes with, and it shows it on the website, but it says late availability on the website. But I got a feeling people are going to get that and think that they should be getting that to Pro Access tailgate, and they're not going to. But we'll keep you updated when that's available.
Yep. On the window sticker of the Maverick, Highway EPA is 22. On the Maverick, Highway EPA in 22 was 42. In 23, it changed to 40. In 24, it's back to 42. Do you know why?
Don't, to be honest. EPA tests those, so whatever their testing was for, in 23,
They must have had different drivers.
It was affected. I don't know. Yeah, because that's EPA testing that has to be done, and I don't know.
They must have had different drivers.
I could tell you, people are getting more than 42 on theirs.
Yeah.
If you're just doing city driving, you're going to get more than 42. If you're doing a combination of both, you're going to be probably in the 30s.
I mean, Jolie sent us that one where she got like 99 point. She had just reset
downhill.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think I took a picture of that, and I was going to give her a bad time and say, well, I got 99. I don't know what.
No, Jolie got that,
Yeah.
but she had just filled and she had reset her trip, and she drove it from the quick shop to the house, and it was like.
Oh yeah, people are getting in the
Coasting.
50s. That's Ridgeview. I know they're getting pretty good gas mileage.
Ridgeview's not in here tonight.
No, he's not. But
Yeah.
sometime ask him. But yeah, I know. I like Jolie's in the 30s, but again, she does a lot of highway driving too.
Yes.
Combination. So
I think she said if she resets it and she only does base driving, she is getting pretty good.
don't ask me what I'm getting in my EcoBoost. You don't want to know the way I drive it.
I was getting
21. That's what I'm getting.
I have a heavy foot. I got about 19 to 22, but
Yeah.
Lebo would get like 25 to 30 in it.
Yeah, well,
He's a hybrid driver though. He had hybrid driving practice already, so he knows how to save it. All right, is the Hermosillo factory shut down for Christmas?
I don't think so. Well, it's the only plant that's scheduling this week, which I thought was kind of weird. But well, I guess Bronco Sports not scheduling, but I don't know. To be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really tell us if it's shut down or not. Unless I have an inside person at those factories, I don't know.
I don't think we have one there right now.
And I don't have one there.
I'm in need of the Ranger I ordered in July. Should I wait or should I just get go a different direction? He hasn't been scheduled.
Okay, that was what I was gonna ask. It's been scheduled, so it hasn't been scheduled. Yeah, I mean, if it hasn't been scheduled, you're probably looking at like a March at earliest. Like,
do they have the
right now?
buy?
They're scheduling for like I think January, February build dates is what they were scheduling for. So you're probably looking at this point for a March build date at the earliest. You're talking April. So yeah, I mean, you might have to look at a 23 Ranger if you can find one somewhere, or a used one, or look at a Maverick if you want to go that route, or F-150. Yeah, I would say at this point it's probably going to be April at the earliest.
Yeah.
For you.
Is the Black Appearance package available on the Outer Banks on a Bronco Sport?
Man, I thought so. Didn't I do a video? Did I do a video on that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just on the Big Ben. All right, I gotta look that up. So usually I remember that stuff, but I can't remember that off the top of my head.
So
but I will find
I did
out
have someone asking, and is it true? And they asked, or they sent one over, and I was like, oh, we've covered this.
Yeah.
Priority codes. They saw somewhere on the internet that someone said that Ford is changing the priority codes. Instead of 10 through 19, they're now doing 3 through 19.
Yes.
And dealers control that. And yes, that is true. The other part of it, though, is that you asked what the implications that could be for jumping the line or getting them scheduled faster and such like that. Dealer to dealer, one dealer is not going to jump ahead of another dealer with an order. Allocations are given on a dealer to dealer basis. And so each dealer is going to get allocations based on their sales and based on what they are earning from Ford to get. So
your orders only matter within your dealership.
Yes. So it's only going to matter within your dealership. So it's going to help you in the line within your dealership. Yep. So if you're a priority 3, you're going to get looked at before the priority 4s, so on and so forth.
Being a priority 10 at your dealership, if the dealer puts everybody in as a 10, is going to be different. If there's a dealer out there or somebody out there says, well, mine's a priority 3, then you're like, well, I'm going to be after you. No, because they're at a different dealership. So their
Yes.
dealership, they might put all theirs in as 3s. Then
So,
they have the same.
Like, and you're seeing this with rollovers. Some dealers didn't have any rollover orders. All rollover Maverick orders got put in at a 2. And so, or should have. And so if you were at another dealer that didn't have any rollovers and you were a priority 10 and your dealer only put their orders in at a 10, you're going to get scheduled before some of those priority 2s at another dealership because your dealer doesn't have any priority 2s.
Yeah.
So it's dealer to dealer based.
Yeah, it's within the dealership. To answer that, Black Appearance Package is not available on Outer Banks. I was thinking the Black Diamond Off-Road Package, which is available on Big Bend and Outer Banks. Black Appearance Package is only on the Big Bend. Probably because you already get black wheels on Outer Banks.
Yeah. I ordered a 2024 Raptor Ranger 11/2/23. I know a lot of people ordered since May. What would be a good guess on when mine should be built?
Okay, so you ordered, but you got to wait until it gets scheduled to find out for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I ordered a 2024 F-150 about a week ago with a hard tonneau cover. Since I don't want it to hold up the production of my truck, is there a way I can remove that option now, or is it too late?
No, you can order it.
You can remove it.
Has it been scheduled? No, ordered. Okay, yeah. So you just go into your dealer and tell them you want it removed off your order.
Yeah.
Should be simple.
Any thoughts on if rental car companies will start getting some Mavericks, maybe trimmers, so I don't have to drive so far to see places like Moab?
I don't know.
That's going to be based on
there are some rental companies that will probably have some. I mean,
yeah.
The dealership here has rental Mavericks.
The thing with rental companies is they have to be in a place to purchase, and to get them readily available, they won't probably want to purchase as a fleet.
Yeah.
So they will want to be needing to purchase multiple, and some of those rental companies may not be in the place to purchase those right now because they have good vehicles that they aren't ready to get rid of or miled out. So
yeah, I was gonna say there are probably some rental companies that will have them.
Yeah.
I mean, you might look at Turo app.
Yeah, the Turo app.
Because I found some Mavericks on the Turo app.
Yeah.
In fact, there were people when I went to Nevada to that off-rodeo thing. I was there doing a video and they came up in a Maverick and they were asking me about a tent site or something. I'm like, I don't know this location over here, anything. I said, but by the way, how do you like your Maverick? They said, I don't know. We're just renting it. So they had rented theirs. Yeah. So in
some areas you may see Mavericks.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked it out, Turo, basically people have their own vehicles that they basically let people drive. And it's like renting them, but you're renting from an individual.
People in New York have been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. Because,
they don't drive it every single day. We saw that at the car club, the classic car club.
And there's actually some business. There's some people that actually run a business out of it, and they have several in their fleet. And they do they treat it like a rental car, but they don't have to have the rental car agreement and everything. Mm-hmm. So, I've done 2 of those and they've been great. Just make sure you look at the charges. Sometimes they have extra charges for pickup and such, but also look at their ratings, and how many they've done. But I was
like, let people drive your car. To them, it's not about it being their car. To them, it's an investment. They purchased the car and they're making money off of it.
Yeah.
They hope that they can get enough rentals in it. Or maybe they don't use it every day. They have 2 different cars. So they put it in the Turo app. People that want to drive a Bronco.
You rent it out a couple of times a month and you made the payment.
Yeah, it makes their payment. So especially you don't drive your Bronco every day. You don't drive your Maverick every day. You could totally put it in the Turo app. Then people come in, drive it, and you've paid for your.
I wouldn't let them do the Bronco, but maybe the Maverick. I don't think there's any Turos in town. All right. Nobody flies to Salina to just drive it. But anyway. All right. Next question.
Okay. If a recall Maverick comes out after scheduling but before production, will that recall be taken care of at that plant, or do dealers handle all recalls?
The dealer would handle it. Some of them will get done like if they're in Kansas City, like in the
after scheduling but before production.
Oh, it'll usually if they've come out, if the recalls come out and they have the fix, they're usually done at the factory. because
Yes.
once they've already had that fix, so for instance, here's a recall.
Well, and a lot of times a recall means that they found a problem with a part or something
Yep.
going on. They've already replaced that batch that was faulty and
Yep.
started working on new
Yes.
batches that are not faulty.
So for this, like in this situation on the Maverick, right? It's for the recalls for a 22 and 24 model year. They actually have build dates, and I used to tell those in theirs. Like this in here is Mavericks built between February 3rd, 21 through November 16th, 23. So anything built after November 16th of 23 they will not have the recall. They'll be fixed. So if your recall lies in those dates, sometimes it'll actually, if it was like we actually had someone last year that their recall set right at the last day or two, they actually set at the factory waiting to get the recall done.
Yes.
So then they actually sat and they didn't ship it out.
Yeah.
So if they find the recall issue before it's actually shipped out, then it'll stay there and they'll get it done. You're better off having it been shipped out ahead of time and then the recall come out, so that
then you get
at that point the dealership does the recall.
But there are some recalls don't cause a stop sale to the point where you can purchase it and then come back and have it done. Or if it's a stop sale, they can't legally sell you the vehicle until that's fixed.
Yeah, like this one here on the Maverick, that is just a compliance recall. So there is no stop sale on it. Right. Whereas if these other ones were safety recalls, they're a do not demonstrate, do not sell. Not this one. This one's that's a safety recall, and it doesn't actually state that it's because there's none available for sale because they're 21 and 22s. But depending on if there's some on dealer lots, they'll actually say you can't sell it. I know one of those did say don't demonstrate and don't sell.
Because we've had Super Duties and Lightnings here that we can't sell until we do that recall.
Yeah, we had 2 Lightnings that the recalls just got done. We finally got parts for, and they were on recall for a long time. We had some Explorers recall for what? Yeah. We had one hit 120 days before the recall got done.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because we have. The Super Duty didn't have the okay to buy, so they weren't shipping out. They finally had the okay to buy. They sent them out, and I feel like 2 months later we had a stop sale.
Yep.
So, So, if you are scheduled but it hasn't been in production and a recall comes out, most likely it's not going to affect your production of your vehicle. Because they've already found the problem. They're like, oh, well, that's faulty parts. Let's get in a new batch that's not faulty anymore.
Now, the advance notice where they don't have the fix yet, or they don't have the parts available yet, then they'll probably may hold on to it. But most of the time, there's those dates. So anything like this, anything built after, and that might have been what held up. So, we had a lot of people in the Maverick Truck Club that was saying theirs was built the week of the November 11th. Or something like that, or somewhere around that time frame.
Yeah,
it might have been this recall, and that's why they were sitting there.
Very true.
Right, because now this recall they ended November 16th, and it could have been those vehicles sitting to get the recall done. It have nothing to do with shipping.
Yeah,
could totally be that recall.
Yeah, there's people that are upset because their vehicle is either in production or it's just sitting at the factory and it's not coming out. What the heck is going on? It went into production in November.
I bet it's that recall because. I mean, you remember those one people, the Dells?
Yep.
They're sat for seemed like 3 or 4 months at the factory because of that recall.
Yep.
So it could be that recall. And I don't think the recall's ready yet. So who knows when those are going to be shipped out.
Whoops. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That was our last question.
Okay.
We got 15 minutes for a rant.
Okay. All right. So. My rant I need a slide for this. So
after hours.
Yeah, after hours. So my rant this week is yesterday, you cleaned Jolie's truck out, and I need to put the car seats back in her Maverick in the back seat. So Ford has to, you have to change your back seat configuration. So it needs to be a 60-40 split bench seat. So if you have 2 car seats in that thing, right? Let's say they're both front-facing car seats.
Yeah.
You have to, if you're using a latch system, you have to latch that in because the latch thing is on the back wall. So you got to pull that forward. Car seats aren't attached down below. You got to pull that forward, latch that in. You got to do the other one too because it's a full bed seat, right? Just to latch one car seat in, right?
2 car seats.
So you got to,
Yeah.
but let's say you're taking one out. To get it to unhook, you got to move the backrest up.
Yeah, because when you're installing a front-facing car seat, you are latching it into there. So to remove one, you would have to loosen the base of the second one.
No, I'm talking about the one that goes, that goes behind there.
Yes.
So you would have to, let's say you're only doing the pass, like for this one. See, so Jaden threw up on that car seat. So we needed to clean it. So we took that one out.
Yeah.
Well, to do that, you got to move the backrest up. Luckily,
Yes.
she just had the other one is the base for the infant seat.
Yeah.
So it was lucky it wasn't in there. It was easy to take out. But you basically got to remove both car seats to get the one out.
Yeah.
Because that backrest
Well,
has to
I
come
went through
forward.
this for a year. I went through this whole thing for a year. Yeah.
Well, and then you lose, like I said, and then you lose all of your, if you have, now let's be in a situation where you have one car seat. You lose all of your under seat storage, all of it.
Yes.
Because you
Now-
decided you needed a bench seat.
And I
instead
will
of a
say,
split.
If you have 2 kids, you can't put one in the middle and one on the outside. So even if you had a 60-40, because of the way that they have tethers put in there, you only have tethers for the 2 outside seats or for 1 middle seat. You can't do 2 tethers or 2 car seats tethered to the same tether.
Well, they probably know there's not enough room across there for 3 car seats.
There actually
anyway.
is.
Oh.
You can get slim fit car seats
Prove
and
it
fit
wrong.
3 car seats across that.
But Ford, you got to fix that. You need the F-150 has a split bench seat. I think the Ranger does as well. I mean, come on. You got the backrest needs to be split bench and the seat cushion, both of them.
Yes.
Seat cushion, so you can actually utilize some of that. You make a big deal about the underseat storage, but then if person has one car seat, you lose all of it.
Well, and you're marketing to a younger generation. Like all your marketing is towards the millennials, the DIYers, the young generation. You are marketing towards them. You make a big deal about this underseat storage, but then they can't use it if they have a kid.
Yeah. Major design flaw, and was last year I did a 10 things that they need to change in the Maverick for 23 model year. Remember that? And actually, the brand manager said, I think you'll be surprised. We made a lot of those changes that you're talking about for 23 model year. That was the one thing that was one of the things that they did not change. And I said, you need to change this.
Well, and I'll say in the F-150, it's the same thing. You have to move that seat. You have to open the seat and hook it in there. The thing is that they don't have like the latch with the hard latch that's built into the seat. They have a rope. It's put the wrong way. Did you know that?
Now hers didn't have a rope.
No, the Maverick has the built-in little latch that you hook it into, and it sits flush, right? In an F-150, you have to pull that seat out. Then you have to. It's not built in. It's a rope, and it's facing the wrong way.
Yes, I noticed that too.
It is because it is like you would have to hook in side to side, and it needs to be front to back.
Yeah, major design flaw.
And then you can't bend it. So my car seat has a super long tether because they're expecting that tether to be down behind.
Yes.
This one's up at the top. So you have a hard piece of plastic on there that's not removable. Don't know why, but it's not removable. And then you try and hook it on there and you can't bend it at all. So then it's in an awkward position. You can't tighten it all the way. I struggled with it and I absolutely hated it. I told Lebo, we are never removing these car seats out of this F-150 unless we are trading it in.
Yeah.
That's what I did. We did not move those car seats until we traded it.
Yeah, major flaw there. Kind of disappointing. I mean, not that it needs to be a perfect vehicle, but people have made different things for different inconveniences. I know, like the people that came, the Martins that came, they had a cool thing that went into the cup holder to give you. So there's a longer cup holder right in front of the console, or like a little section where you can put things in, and a little tiny one. So they have a thing that goes into that. So you get a shallow tray there in that little one, but then the back ones become 2 cup holders.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was like, might be getting one of those.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. But I kind of put my phone down there because I like to do I don't put mine down in the upper console. I actually hook up the Android Auto, and then I put it face down into that little section. But anyway, yeah, major design flaw there. So
I'm hoping next time I go to purchase a Maverick, that they have cured that, or I will most likely be going for a Bronco Sport.
Yeah, it is a major problem there. So your mom said not an issue in my Expedition. No, it's not. In fact, you can harness the third row seats. You can actually put 6 car seats in that, because they all have the latch system and all easy to get to.
So the other part of it is, the Fusion is like that. You have to move the seat. Actually, no, the Fusion is different. The anchors for the Fusion, that
yes, they're on
it. Yeah. So it's kind of easy, but getting in and out of a car seat for an adult in those smaller doors lower down, it's hard. So I don't remove the car seats out of our Fusion.
Yeah.
But my C-Max is tethered on the back, and I just open the trunk and just take care of it. And it's super easy, and I love it. So anytime we have to move car seats, or we have to let someone use one of our car seats when they take our kids, I'm like, let me grab the C-Max.
I will tell you this about every one of the Mavericks that are delivered: the backrest isn't latched.
No, it's never latched.
I usually I'm picturing it, so I sit in the back and I feel like I sit back against it and I hear I latched it.
Yeah.
It's like,
so there would be times where I would be driving. I don't know. There's been a few times where I've driven a Maverick that was brand new, no one's driven it, and I would like lurch forward to stop or something, and I would hear the back seat clicking.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So Tristan here, so they joined late. I'm not sure what they're asking here. Says I know I'm late, but what was the week of scheduling that you were talking about for the F-150? We didn't talk about scheduling. Pretty much none of the models are scheduling this week. So yeah.
I have
talking about scheduling for F-150.
No, they're talking about putting a baby in the bed. There are actually. There are off-roading car seats for the bed of a truck.
Okay, well, we saw that Bronco. Remember? Did you see it? They had all 4 of their kids on a slide-out thing. They put them in the car seat and they slid it forward.
3 rows.
It was an old Bronco.
It was an older Bronco, not a Gen 6.
Yes.
Older Gen. It's a 2-door too. It's not a 4-door. It was a 2-door.
So the cargo area basically is where the car seats were.
Yeah. So they made a slide-out. That they, when it's time to get out, they just slide it back, and they have 4 car seats in there strapped onto this board that slides in and out. Mm-hmm. But no, they actually make car seats that you can strap and bolt into your bed, made for off-roading.
Water went down the wrong way.
They range in size from good for adults to, I think 8 years old is the youngest that they said you should be putting kids back there. But technically it's rear facing, because if it's bolted to the back of the bed, that's rear facing. I mean, that's the safest position for a child.
All right. So I grew up station wagon era where you had seats in the very back facing to the back. That was the best place to be back then. And those old station wagons, you're back there and you're looking at everybody. You be at a stoplight and they'd be right in front of you, make funny faces at them and everything. So that was the thing. Anyway, some of you, that dates me just a little bit, but some of you know what I'm talking about out there. You've seen any of those?
Yes, I have. I work at a car dealership.
Your grandpa had a bunch of those. We had a bunch of those in Suburbans.
I work at a car dealership. I've seen car history.
In old big Suburbans. So, yep, that was... that's where we take family vacations. It was like a Griswold family vacation all over again.
He's like, I think Tim is my age.
Probably.
Well, I am 27 and he's my dad, so.
Yeah. All right.
That can give you some age.
Okay. Let's see. We got any last questions?
I read that all 2024 Sasquatch Broncos are getting the upgraded steering like what the Raptor has. Is that true?
Not in 24.
Sorry, what I meant.
Sasquatch Broncos are getting upgraded steering wheel. The steering rack, the upgraded steering rack. I did hear that. I didn't know if it was Sasquatches or if it was Badlands and Wild Tracks, I think. So it's the upgraded steering rack. not the steering. Yeah, upgraded steering. Okay, that's what they were talking about. So I think so. But they didn't make it. It really wasn't put into the order guide. It didn't mention the order guide, but I did hear that was getting upgraded steering rack. So I don't know about Sasquatch, but I thought Badlands and Wild Track was getting it. So, and then I think was there a question up here that I missed? Oh.
Any car my mom drove was unsafe at any speed.
What package do you have on the Bronco
Not my
Sport?
mom.
Do you have the start with the Badlands or for a good off-roader? So yeah, on Bronco Sport, if you want a good off-roading one, really, even though there is a Black Diamond off-road package for like the Big Bend, the one you need to go with is the Badlands. Badlands trim gives you the advanced four-wheel drive system. It's the dual clutch. That is the one you need if you want to do some off-roading with your Bronco Sport. That's the setup you want. So, or Maverick trimmer for about $5,000 less. Seeing. Although right now I wouldn't say that because we need to sell a bunch of Bronco Sports. So there you go. Or you can get a Bronco Sport that it is $5,000 less from us right now.
True.
All right. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, what was this here? What's this? Sorry, what I meant was when you were talking about the Ford scheduling for F-150 and finally some 802 Raptor packages. I didn't hear what the dates were. They didn't actually give dates so on when they were scheduling those. So right now, this week, they're not scheduling. I'm not sure why they left that note on there, but there are some dealerships like last week they told us, hey, you got a Raptor R allocation. And I was like, great, And so, I don't know if there's Raptor 37s though, but they mentioned Raptor R. I don't know what build date that was scheduled for, but sometime in February, but I'm not positive what that was. So, all right, clarified that then. All right, okay. So Radcon, I knew he'd have the answer. All Sasquatch and Badlands, and it is the steering rack off of the Wild Track Haas 3.0 package.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what
Which
it
is
was.
Similar, but not exactly the same as the Raptor steering rack.
Yeah, because the Raptor's Haas 4.0. But yeah, so there you go. That's it. That's what it was. Okay. I didn't realize it was Sasquatch. I knew it was Badlands was getting that. And that's right. That was the. I know I talked about, or I don't know if I talked about it, but I did see that the brand manager had mentioned about it, which he's no longer the brand manager, but from what I understand. So, all right.
Well, it is 9:55.
Okay. We're out. No. Well, hope you guys, again, we will not be here next week. We're not going to be doing a live stream next week. And so, yeah, I hope you guys have a great Merry Christmas. For the members, we'll be doing a member live on Friday. So all those 15 new members, join us Friday at 4 p.m. or watch it later. It's recorded live, but you can watch it later. So join us then. And who knows? For the members, I might see some images or something from the weekend. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see what's going on.
I usually try and do a short.
Yeah. All right. One last question. No more questions. Last question. It says, what do I need to get to install the hitch and pins on a prepped tow on the Bronco? So from what I understand for 24 model year, I'm assuming you're talking about 24 model year, they are now doing, that's a dealer installed for the hitch. So from what I understand is they get a prep kit. So they should get the wiring already back there, the wiring at least wired to the back of the vehicle, which is the hardest part. And then at that point, you're just adding the hitch, which is like 4 bolts, bolt that on. And then you're getting the actual 4-pin, 7-pin harness that you put on there and hook under there into the vehicle. And then just run that wire to where it's back there. I think. We don't know yet. We haven't seen a 24, of course, yet. They haven't built a 24 yet. But now if you're talking about a 23, then... yeah, if the wiring's already back there, then you just got to add a hitch. And you can add a rough country one. A lot of other companies, there's a lot of them for like $150. You can install yourself. I'm probably going to do that. But yeah, I'm surprised your dealer is pushing back on it, but that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, you can just add a hitch. I mean, we can add hitches here. It's just some of them, it's like they want to charge a lot for install. That's kind of the big thing. So I'm really surprised they would be willing to not do it, because they probably want that install fee, because it is pretty expensive. But yeah, there you go. But all right. Okay, so I think that's it this time. So have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as well, because since we're not going to do a live stream next week, we'll see you guys in the new year, in 2024. And there's a lot. We didn't talk about models and vehicles. We talked about trips and different places to go, but there's some maybe on the second we'll talk about what models we could expect for 2024. Maybe that's how we can launch off 2024, because not only do we have some new refreshes coming with the F-150 and some of those other vehicles, but we have and the new Ranger will finally be delivered in 2024 calendar year. But we have going to be having some new refreshes going on, like 6 models getting refreshed, or some new ones revealed to us. I think they're going to reveal a new EV and such. So 2024 is going to be a good year for Ford, I think, and some good reveals and updates to some of the Ford products. I've seen some. You're going to like them. I can tell you that. We're talking Expedition, Maverick is getting an update, Bronco Sport's getting an update, Bronco's getting an update, some major updates. What else? Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
F-150's got a new trim coming in 2025. Can't talk about it. Probably said too much already. Anyway, all right. I better get out here before we get in trouble, since it's 10 o'clock now. Thank you guys very much for joining us for the last live stream of 2023. We'll see you guys in 2024. Until then, stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourself.
And we'll see you in the next video. We'll see you next year.